Good evening, boys and ghouls. You have tuned into the Killer Countdown, brought to you by Backlot 605. Each week, two horror fanatics rank the best that the horror genre has to offer. Grab your popcorn and your kitchen knife and get ready for the Killer Countdown.
Welcome to the Killer Countdown. I am your host, Blake Inathan. Yes, I am back after my sabbatical. It's been a while, but I'm back again. And
back from the dead.
I'm back from the dead. I'm ready to... I'm hosting today because Casey is playing in tonight's game, and Casey is playing against our newest, favoritist member of the crew, Sam Lenz.
What up?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing great, only slightly stressed out about the prospect of doing a Killer Countdown.
That's why I am over here on the other side of the table.
Yes, we're throwing Sam into the ringer again for his first official Killer Countdown.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
He helped me co-host last time we were here doing horror scores, and yeah, we're bringing Sam into the fold full time, and we're going to put his horror knowledge to the test.
Burn him at the stake, Casey.
I think, based on some conversations we've had before, me and Sam doing the Killer Countdown today will be pretty, as the hosts of Screen Drafts say, copacetic.
It's going to be pretty copacetic. I don't foresee any issues arising today.
No.
Casey.
Yes.
You got something you want to say?
I got something I want to say. I'll take the floor here. Yeah, we have had a couple of discussions with the Killer Countdown going forward.
We've had a lot of discussions.
Killer Countdown. One of those is being, and we have said this on the show before, that the last Killer Countdown will be this October. With our we're planning a big. We're going big. We're going Jason X on this. We're going to space.
We have a lot to plan for this too.
Yes, we're working on some things for that, so stay tuned with that. But in the meantime, we are moving Killer Countdown to once a month going forward from now being July to the end of October. So that'll be the plan going forward. But with that, we have been doing news updates, so we're going to continue to do those, including today's episode. So basically, how the show is going to work for the next couple months is we're going to combine the Killer Countdown with the news updates. So we'll talk about some of our recent watches, as always. They might be a little longer this time since we have a full month in between shows. But then we'll talk about the horror news of the last month, and then we'll get into the Killer Countdown.
Yeah.
And so that'll be the schedule going forward through October. Plan on the last Friday of every month. So that'll be kind of a fun way to cap off every month. Is you get a new, longer episode of the Killer Countdown.
Yeah, I'm stoked to be taking this next step.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see where our new show goes whenever we figure out what exactly that's going to be.
And that's the whole thing with this, is that this is sort of our transition into the new show.
We're sort of like mutating into something else now.
Yes.
We're
Jeff Goldblum in The Fly.
We're Jeff Goldblum now. We're turning into The Fly.
We have shit oozing out of our mouth right now.
Literally, I do, because I'm drinking a Starbucks coffee. I think we're going to start off with recent watches first. Casey.
Yes.
We'll just start with you.
Yeah.
What have you watched recently?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Then you lied to me.
I have one recent watch. I know it was on Blake's list as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it is a... I don't remember... What was the text you sent me to this? It's The Beach House.
Oh, you watched
on Shudder.
Oh, I want to see this.
Ooh, we have some stuff to talk about.
We got some stuff to talk... Have you seen this yet?
I have not.
Sam?
The internet sucks. I've kind of gotten sort of spoiled, but I'm very excited to see it because
let's
keep it as vague
let's
as
keep
possible.
our talk about the first 40 minutes then.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I don't even know how to describe it then. So the movie is it's a new Shudder original movie. It's about this younger couple they're college age, and they go to the boyfriend's beach house that his dad owns for a weekend getaway, just to get away. But they soon find out that his dad's friends have also come for the weekend unbeknownst to both couples. But you get to see sort of a generational gap in the opening half hour or so between the two couples and how all four people view the world and how they understand what's going on with their lives personally and how they view the greater landscape of the world.
Sure.
I'll keep it at that. I think
and one of the girl, the young girl,
Yes. the final girl.
Her viewpoint on life is tied intricately into what she wants to do in life
And the plot.
and the plot of the movie.
So yes, she is the focal point of this movie. She is studying, what is it, astrobiology is what it called, or microbiology or something like that.
I think it was astrobiology.
But basically, she studies underground life or underwater life, and how the world was basically created and how we came from that.
And how lucky we are.
Yeah. And then the movie goes into something completely different.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of mutating.
Yeah, we won't talk about what that is.
No.
But I don't know about Blake. I think you liked the movie more than I did. I really enjoyed it. I liked the first half more than the second half.
Strongly disagree.
I know. That's weird, right? For what the second half is.
I think it's going to become like a new classic. Like, I think if I watch it again, I'll appreciate it more. And I think the more eyes get on this, I think this is going to become like a... I mean, this is a bad comparison because this movie is much bigger in the zeitgeist, but it's going to be like a new It Follows, where people are going to like... It's going to become something later on. But
I think I'm thinking more like something from the 80s that now all of a sudden we're discovering. Where I think it's going to be 10, 20 years down the road and be like, why was no one watching this in 2020?
Yeah. Boy, there's a lot going on here. There's some Carpenter in this. There's some Argento in this. There's some Cronenberg in this. There's a lot going on.
There's some. If I say another name, I think I spoil it.
Yeah.
I won't say it.
There's a great sequence on the beach where how do I even dance around what happens? But one character does something and another character reacts, and then all of a sudden she doesn't even realize it, but she's in a world of hurt, and it's just the way the whole thing plays out is.
That's the best sequence in the movie. And then that leads into a kitchen sequence, and I don't think I've had a visceral reaction to a movie like that so far this year.
I was having like convulsions during that sequence.
During that scene,
yeah.
It has to deal with a foot.
I
don't do foot stuff.
If you like your feet, this movie's gonna make you squirm.
I like my feet, so
I really like this movie a lot. And while the opening 40 minutes or so is like a slow build up, it's really interesting with the conversations they're having.
Yes.
It gets a little slow when they start like getting high, but it sort of kind of turns into like. Has anyone here seen Color Out of Space?
I haven't yet.
Okay, that part really reminded me of that.
Okay.
All the neon lights in the forest and all that stuff happening.
And if you know where that story came from,
I was gonna say that name, but I think I won't for right now, just so people don't sort of.
Do you know what?
I know exactly what name you're talking about.
So we're nearing spoiler territory. So I recommend it. I definitely do.
I mean, for me, it's a 3.5 right now. So
I give it a 3.
Yeah.
We're not too far.
We're not far off.
I have the same mindset as you. As if I rewatch this maybe 4 or 5 years down the road, I'm like, that was great. What was I thinking? Giving it a 3. Yeah, that was all I watched. Yeah, it's been a slow horror watch.
What did I text you? What did I say to you?
I have no idea. You said you watched The Beach House, and you're like, or you made some reaction like, oh, is it that bad? Is it that bad?
I made some weird like bro.
And then you're like, it fucks or something like that.
No, all I said is The Beach House, oof.
Oof. I read that
and
as
then I
bad.
said, it's very good.
Okay.
I have a few that I can go through. I haven't been here for a while, so I'll go through mine really quickly. I rewatched Event Horizon, which I think is a lot of fun. I wish there was more hell stuff in it. I remember it being a bigger part of the movie, and I almost feel like Netflix cut out a lot of the hell stuff, but I highly doubt they would do that. So my memory is wrong with that, and I hope that this whole lost director's cut that Paul Anderson says is out there is that Scream Factory is able to get it and put it in because this movie needs a lot more visceral gore.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
I actually haven't either.
Oh
no,
my god!
I haven't seen Event
It's on
Horizon.
Netflix right now. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. And I didn't ruin anything for you. I watched The Lodge.
Yeah, I've been meaning to on Hulu, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to check this out.
I've heard comparisons to The Shining. Is that fairly?
I've heard Hereditary is what I've been
yeah.
hearing.
That too. A little
The
bit.
Shining more,
Okay.
but nowhere near as good. It's fine.
Okay.
It's really, really,
That one
really,
seems to be very
really
divisive.
slow. Very slow movie.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that VHS short Safe Haven. I'm not ruining anything. Just there's an aspect of this movie that sort of plot wise ties in with that and sort of with The Shining in a way. A lot of cool like imagery and like some great tension sequences in it. But like ultimately, I was just kind of like checking my phone too much, and I was really taken out of it. It's super slow. I still recommend it. It's interesting, but Riley Keough, is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
She's good. She's a good actress.
Yep.
She plays the lead actress. I watched this movie called Aqua Slash.
Which we talked about.
We talked about it
a few weeks ago.
It's not good.
Your Letterboxd review was like, I was like, oh well, I guess I won't even spend the money on a rental.
It's like an hour and like 7 minutes long. It's not very long.
Figured it was one of those
And
movies.
there's literally, I mean, there's some slasher stuff on the way to what the trailer shows, but like all of that stuff is not until the last like 15 minutes of the movie, and then it's like slice and dice, people going on a slide and getting chopped up, and then it gets really fun and
Like
ridiculous.
Water Park from Hell.
But it's one of those movies where it wants to play like the cheap straight to video like gags, but then like be like super serious with the plot at the end and like, oh, these people are dying, isn't it so sad and tragic, and it's like just doesn't work at all. And then it's sort of like homophobic and slightly misogynist in a way, you know, like, so it's super weird that a movie in 2019 is getting made like this. Like you can make fun of that stuff as long as you're making fun of the characters who are saying that, but it sort of feels like the movie's backing up what they're saying. So there's some weird stuff with that. I can't fully recommend it.
It seems like when it inevitably lands on a Tubi TV, that'll be where I watch it.
Yeah. And
I'm definitely not going to spend any money on it.
No, don't. Get super drunk before you watch it. And then one last thing I want to say, and then I'll hand it over to Sam. I started watching Dark on Netflix. The show's incredible. Maybe not horror, but maybe like horror adjacent. It's about a small town in Germany where kids are missing, are going missing, and no one knows why. And then a lot of people think it has to do with this like nuclear power plant that's right next to the city, and a lot of secrets that are happening in there. It's a big time Stranger Things vibes, but it doesn't play on nostalgia for its emotional attachments, and it takes itself quite seriously. A lot of really cool twists and turns in that. I highly recommend you check it out if that is your thing.
Can I add one more thing to mine?
No.
I guess no. Oh no. Okay. Sam, to you. I watched the new season, the reboot of Unsolved Mysteries on
How's
Netflix.
that?
Go ahead.
It doesn't suck. It's not the same.
You gotta have Robert Stack in
It
there.
needs. That's the thing it's missing. I'm assuming I don't know. Is he still alive?
He's dead.
Okay. Get someone else. Get a new.
Who's the host?
No one. There is no host.
Oh.
That's the problem.
Oh.
It,
See-
it keeps the original music. It has
dope.
Which is dope. It has the whole thing. If you have any information on this at the end, like contact
Which, by the way,
us.
There are thousands
Yeah.
of people contacting the show now about
Yeah.
some stuff that's happened. I don't know which stories, but
And
it's
then
pretty cool.
there's an Alien episode, which was a vital part of the original series, which is it's fun. I love those though.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's not the same one from the 90s. You have to know that going in. But if you're into like true crime documentaries, and that's it.
True crime.
Well, the Alien one, but That one's fun.
Hey,
It's
aliens exist. I want to put that on the
fun.
record.
He has them on his shirt.
Yeah, I do.
It's true.
His killer
Clown
clowns.
form.
Yeah, it's fun. It is missing a host.
Yeah.
So if they do season 2, get someone in there to host. Just find someone. I don't
Kevin James, if you're listening.
Yeah, Kevin James.
We
Why
want you
not?
to host.
Nazi Kevin James.
Oh,
Yeah, that was my other one. So
Sam,
That's another one I
you've
wanna
got
get
a
to.
lot. Why don't you quickly go through yours?
I do. So I finally watched Scare Package. Finally, it's only been out for 2 weeks now. But either way, I watched it. I loved it.
well, like a month by the time this comes out.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The Girls' Night Out of Body. I love that short.
I need to see this.
It's a great segment. It's a little tonally different than the rest of the movie, but I think that's what makes it work. It's super cool. I love it. The whole movie is great. I think it drags a little bit at the end, just a tad.
How, is it 90 minutes?
Yeah. Oh well, 100 minutes, so a little
Yeah,
bit
I think
longer.
it's an hour
but-
40. Yeah.
But it's good. It's very good. It's entertaining the whole way through. You get a lot of different nice flavors in it, and I very much enjoyed it.
And you can check out our interview with one of the directors now on Backlot605.com, Aaron B. Kuntz.
And-
He came up with he's the story credit for it, and he does the wraparound.
Oh, cool.
And I'm not trying to plug our own stuff by any, or pat Casey on the back, but it is a great interview. I went back and actually rewatched Scare Package after I listened to the interview, just because I was like, oh man, I want to look for some of this stuff. So,
It's funny.
So watch the movie first and then listen to the interview.
and then watch the movie again.
Yeah. I don't spoil anything in the interview.
No,
there's
there's
even
no- Yeah.
a certain cameo in Scare Package.
Yeah, and you guys don't even mention
I
it.
don't spoil that
Yeah.
in the interview.
Yep. I watched The Love Witch on Shudder. Have you guys seen this?
No, this was on the Criterion Channel for a bit, and I didn't.
It's been sitting in my watch list forever.
It is so unique.
Yeah.
Is it's a very it's a more atmospheric, if you like those 60s Technicolor
Yeah.
horror movies,
Yeah.
this is for you. I mean, it is I think her name is Samantha Robinson, plays the lead. And she's fantastic in it. She carries the whole movie, and she does it with ease. And the vibe of it is just it's so great. I can't sing the praise of it enough. I very much enjoyed it. It's definitely more art house than anything. So if you're looking for a jump scare a minute or a lot of gore, you're not gonna find it here. But I very much loved the mood and the vibe of this movie, and I would highly recommend it. It is on Shudder.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's gorgeously shot. The set designer should have won all the awards, for real. It was great. I also kind of went on a werewolf binge. I watched Ginger Snaps, Cursed, Wolf with Jack Nicholson, An American Werewolf in London. All of these were first-time watches. I had never seen An American Werewolf in London. That's a great movie.
Controversial in this
Yeah.
this table here.
You guys do not care for this?
I don't like it.
Okay.
It's top 5 horror for me.
See,
Casey and I've had some discussions
yeah,
about this.
we've
I do not think it's a horror comedy, though. I went into it expecting horror comedy,
I'm with
and
you.
it was it wasn't funny.
I don't find it funny in the
No,
slightest.
it's actually a
I
very
find it
dark,
funny, but it's
sad
not a horror
movie.
comedy. It has
Yeah, actually,
comedic elements to it.
not-
it's
right.
the fact that it's. Go ahead. What
I was
you
going to
can
say, not to start a whole section on American Werewolf in London this show, but to me, it's a very bipolar movie that it doesn't know what it wants to be. And I
could see that.
And I'm not here to strike down the whole it's not or it's a comedy element just because I don't find it funny. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
I think the effects are incredible.
Oh, the Rick Baker effects are
The
amazing.
effects are incredible. The last sequence where they're in not the last, but one of the sequences where they're in the tube and the wolf is hunting the lady in the tube. That stuff's all incredible. The opening sequences are incredible. It doesn't gel for me throughout the whole way through.
Yeah, the tube scene is this.
Right.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It's nuts.
Speaking of Rick Baker effects, this segues into Cursed, the Kevin Williamson, Wes Craven one that lives up to its namesake. Oh my God, you can see the studio meddling in this movie. It's awful. The CGI wolf at the end, that they took out Rick Baker's effects, put in a CGI wolf. Terrible. Like, the wolf flips off the camera at one point, and you're like, wait, what?
I might be sold now watching this movie.
But can I say that I enjoyed the fuck out of it? Like, honestly, it was so... Like,
You can say that, yes.
There is, like... There's a scene where Jesse Eisenberg, he has his...
Jesse
new wolf
Eisenberg is in
powers.
this?
Yes, yeah.
Who's the female lead? She's
Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
Yep.
I knew she was in it.
So Jesse Eisenberg, he gets his wolf powers, and there's this homophobic bully who's on the wrestling team that basically goads him into trying out for this wrestling team. And so you've got scrawny Jesse Eisenberg, like, flipping dudes twice his size, like, over his shoulder. It's ridiculous.
Where did you watch this at?
I had the DVD.
Oh, okay.
My sister lent me the
I need
DVD.
to watch this now.
I have the DVD. I haven't braved.
Isn't there an unrated version of
Yeah,
this?
that's the one I watched.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it got cut down to a PG-13, but the unrated cut is definitely unrated. Like, they put back in the gore.
Oh,
for sure.
supposedly
There is still a Craven
I've
cut.
heard that-
Yeah, there
that's
is a Craven
I've
cut.
heard that is not true.
I don't know.
They
From
were
my
filming.
sources,
They
so-
were filming it for like
From your
2
sources.
years.
Were they?
Yeah, I actually just.
Can you
I
imagine
think it
working
was the
with for 2
Shockwaves
years?
episode with Kevin Williamson. They were talking about this, and he had some crazy stories from.
Have you listened to that episode?
Yeah,
It's so good.
I haven't finished it. I have like 15 minutes left, but I've listened to most of it.
Yeah.
He's a very he has great stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wolf with Jack Nicholson, great Rick Baker effects, but it's The Graduate with a wolf in it. That's what it is. It's The Graduate, but they changed the main character to a middle-aged man.
Do they play Mrs. Robinson in it?
No, but if they would have, I would have just. It might have actually bumped
Does a
up a star
werewolf
in my
break
book.
into a wedding?
Cassandra.
But it does start with
Wrong
a party
wedding!
in which our mopey protagonist, who doesn't know where he's going in life, meets an attractive young woman, and all of a sudden,
I wanna
yeah,
check
it's
this out.
I've
it's
never
very
seen this.
Wolf.
it's interesting.
Yeah, that's a Mike Nichols
you know,
movie, isn't it?
Yeah, Mike Nichols. Yeah,
Speaking
yeah,
of which,
The Graduate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much. It's Mike Nichols' voice
there
to a
was
T,
one
for
movie
better
that
or for
Casey
worse.
and I both noticed that you watched that we want to talk about.
Yes. Is that Behind the Mask,
Yes, it
The Rise
is.
of Leslie
Yes.
Vernon?
Yes.
Can I be 100% honest with you guys and say I don't know why, but this movie did not work for me.
Doesn't work for me either.
It just
It has made the list before.
it's not to me. It's just it has some clever ideas that it never quite knows what to do with.
100% agree.
There's a twist in the third act that I thought was really clever, but they did not reveal it well enough for it to have any type of impact.
There are some movies that would be great 30-minute shorts, and this is one of them.
That is, yes, exactly. If it was a short film, this might have been a 5-star movie.
Casey, why do you love this movie so
I don't
much?
know.
I love the stuff that you guys don't like, that third act reveal. I really enjoy because I feel like I kind of figured it out most of the way through how it was going to go. The only thing I don't like is that it ditches the found footage,
Yeah,
the mockumentary stuff at
that's
the end.
the biggest problem I
That's
have with it.
I get that. That's the biggest problem I have with it too. But I really dig that it's just literally deconstructing the slasher genre while also fully embracing that it is a slasher movie.
Yeah, and I
think
appreciate
the
that
main guy,
idea.
the guy that plays the main character, I think he's fantastic.
Oh,
He's funny.
he's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. I do want to say, just because I am in here saying I don't like a movie doesn't mean I don't recommend it to people.
Yeah. Oh no. If you like slashers and you like horror comedies, check it out.
Yeah,
I
agree.
mean, because
I agree.
it might just be to
It's
me.
a super interesting movie.
It is. It's a very interesting movie. It's thought provoking. I just think that a meta slasher like Scream does it much better than. And I know they're kind of doing different things.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go for Scream every time. I thought they utterly wasted.
I am too.
Right. Yeah. I thought they utterly wasted Robert Englund. Honestly, I thought he had nothing to do the entire time. He almost looked bored throughout.
Isn't that kind of his career outside of Freddy Krueger?
That was my Freddy. Like I'm
But
a
even
Freddy
Urban
guy,
Legend,
but
he's like
Yeah.
You know, he's at least chewing some scenery.
No, I
and he's
get
like,
it. I
haha,
get
the
it, but,
creepy,
like,
you know.
and this is in no way to disrespect Robert Englund, who I love, but like, it seems like he did Freddy Krueger and then was kind of like, and whether it was the way he was cast or his career, or whether he made that choice, I feel like he just didn't do much other than just be in other movies. It's like, oh my god, there's the guy who loves horror movies.
Yeah.
You know, and like,
Yeah.
that's sort of what.
Well, even in his Phantom of the Opera, at first he was Freddy. Now that's the poster for the movie.
Yeah.
So I feel I'm with you. He's been riding the coattails of being
Which is
Freddy
fine.
Krueger,
I mean,
which
he
should.
He's earned that. Yeah.
I think he's fine. He's fine for what he's used for in the movie.
That's the thing. Like, I
heard
feel
some
like
of
the
the,
movie introduces elements, but then never fully utilizes them. And I think Robert Englund is one of those.
Have you heard some of the fan theories on Behind the Mask of who? So he goes and stays with this couple, who he at one the husband was at one point the serial killer.
Yep.
Have you heard some of the rumors of who he's supposed to be?
I have not. I didn't really look much into this movie before I watched
Apparently,
it.
he's supposed to be Billy from Black Christmas. Is one of the rumors.
Oh my god. I might need to
It's
rewatch
just something
this
I've
just
heard,
with that
but
light.
It's just a fun thing in there.
That's
I don't know
kinda
if it's
cool.
true, but-
Yeah, that's cool.
When I was talking about my werewolf movies, can I go back to
Yeah, of course
one
you
real
can.
quick? Okay, so I watched Ginger Snaps.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love this movie. It
It's
worked.
a Canadian masterpiece.
It worked on every level for me. I was glued to the screen the entire time. It's great hormonal teenage horror, and I think it would make a great double feature with something like Jennifer's Body. Like, it kind of hits, I mean, it does everything a little bit better. I like Jennifer's Body, but it does everything Jennifer's Body does, but better. And I very much I ended that movie and I kind of had chills at the end of it. And I don't know. The two leads, the two sisters, they're fantastic.
I need to rewatch this. I didn't care much for it the first time I watched it, but I understand how it has resonated in the horror community, and it has essentially one of the best horror actresses of the past 20 years in it, in Catherine Isabelle.
Yep.
But yeah, I need to rewatch this, and I want to watch the sequels too because I hear they're fun as well.
I haven't seen any of the
Isn't
sequels.
this movie
but-
essentially? God, here's a white guy talking about this, but isn't this movie kind of like about the female body, like sort of coming into its?
Yeah, it's coming into womanhood.
Womanhood.
Yeah, and it's very much like this. Ginger is very much objectified by the men around her and the boys around her,
Right.
and she gets these powers and basically starts using them to tear these men apart.
Right.
And meanwhile, her sister is kind of caught in the crossfire of this
Have you seen the movie Teeth?
Yes, long time
This
ago.
reminds me of Teeth. a
Yeah,
lot.
it would actually.
I've seen
I
TV.
love
It's been a while.
It would make a good double feature with Teeth, actually.
Yeah.
It really would. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, a Jennifer's Body, Teeth, Ginger Snaps, because you gotta save the best for last, triple feature would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Yeah, I need to rewatch Ginger Snaps.
I've never seen it. Out of the
It's-
4 werewolf movies, I've only seen one, and I'm like, werewolves are my favorite monster. I
Well,
don't know what
that's-
I'm doing. I
That's
don't know.
why I went on this werewolf binge, because I was like, God, I love werewolves, and I've seen the original Wolfman, I've seen the 2010 Wolfman, which I love. I don't care what anybody says, that movie is
2010 Wolfman
amazing.
Slaps hard.
It's so good. And I've seen Teen Wolf, which I also love for different reasons.
Casey has a werewolf movie you should watch.
Ooh, what's that?
What?
You know what?
What werewolf movie?
Is it Wolf Cop?
Yeah, Wolf Cop rules.
That's on my watch list. I can't wait for it.
You should watch Bad Moon.
Bad Moon. Yeah,
Bad Moon slaps.
I've heard the effects in that are
It's-
just phenomenal.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's super good. It's you watched it and then told me to watch it.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I was like, damn, this is good.
It's like the boy who cried wolf, but the boy is a dog.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The dog. Yeah,
It's so
this
good.
dog-
It's so good.
You gotta watch this movie.
We should almost do a werewolf killer countdown, honestly.
Maybe that can. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll,
Yeah,
we'll talk
we'll see.
about it.
We'll
I was
talk
already.
about
I'm like, well, in the new show, I already want to do a werewolf episode. Like, we have to do it.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I just have like 3 more that I'll burn through really quick. I'm sorry, I went on a binge. I finally watched What We Do in the Shadows seasons 1 and 2. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie.
No, we haven't.
Okay.
We got so much
the
crap
movie-
on our January live show for not
So much.
watching.
I know we did.
The movie is amazing. You guys should watch it as soon as you possibly can. But the TV show expands upon it and honestly makes the premise even better.
That's what everyone
It's so good. It just builds. And season 2, just amazing. The last 2 minutes of season 2 is some of the funniest shit I've ever seen on television. I love it.
Would you recommend the movie first or the TV show first?
Movie first and then go into the TV show.
Because
yeah.
is it essentially a sequel to the movie?
It's not really a sequel, but the movie is more
Sets the
basic in its
groundwork.
mythology. Yeah, it sets the groundwork.
Okay.
And then, you kind of know what you're getting into with the TV show, which starts veering off in other directions a little bit quicker, I also rewatched Oculus, Mike Flanagan's early one. My God, that is a bleak ending. I forgot how dark his movies used to be.
Yep.
I love it. And then I watched the Dr. Sleep director's cut. It is now available on HBO Max. Watch the freaking director's cut. Even if you didn't like the theatrical cut, it is a richer movie. It is more character driven. I know you weren't huge on Dr. Sleep, were you?
It's fine.
Yeah. So I loved it. It was in my top 10 of 2019. And
I've read your Medium articles.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's the number one horror movie of 2019 too.
Yeah. Nice.
For one of us, it is. Yeah.
I see, and I genuinely, I love it. It honestly, it might have been my number one had I
very
seen the
ambitious
director's
movie.
cut.
It is.
Yeah, it's so good. So yeah, watch the Dr. Sleep director's cut, and now I'll shut up about my recent
Are you
watches.
a
That's
Flana
all of
fan
them.
too?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I write on
Haunting
it
of Hill House is literally the best thing put to TV and maybe ever, honestly.
Well,
If
go watch Twin Peaks: The Return and then get back to me on that.
Okay.
one of the things
I'll
we were
have to
talking
do
about
that.
when we did our January live show is we mentioned should we do limited TV series, and I know yours was Twin Peaks. If we allowed it, I would have played Haunting of Hill House, like my number one. I think it's my
At
favorite.
the live show, you mean? Or?
Yeah, at the live show
Yeah.
of the decade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I ride hard for Flanagan.
I ride
The
hard
bent neck
for-
lady episode of Hill House.
The which one?
It's the bent neck lady, where the bent neck lady is revealed who she actually is, and I
Yes.
won't spoil it.
No, I've seen
but
it.
like,
I've seen it. Yeah.
yeah. Oh my God, that episode stuck with me. Like I was. This is gonna. I can't think of a better word. I was haunted by this episode.
Yeah. I mean,
for
the whole thing
a
is
week afterwards.
You talked about how Oculus was bleak, and that whole thing for me was just bleak.
Yeah, but then the last episode is so hopeful. Like that's what I liked about it. Is like
New Flanagan leaves hope at the end.
yeah.
Old Flanagan's like, I hate the world. Fuck everything.
Yeah. Like
Things suck.
I haven't
it,
watched Absentia in a while, but I remember that one
Didn't we-
being like,
didn't
oh my
we talk
God.
about you and I talk maybe off-air personal conversation. Was Flanagan an alcoholic?
Yes.
Was he an alcoholic while he was making movies?
I don't think so.
I wonder.
But it was he's talked about this in interviews. It's when he met his wife.
Yeah.
Where
It's
the
one
bleak
thing.
stuff has changed and
Yeah.
had his kids with his now wife.
Yeah.
I tell you what.
Speaking
kids,
So
of which-
Hush is kind of the transition.
kids give you
And
hope.
Hush is the reason they decided to get married.
Yeah.
Was because it was such a trial for them. They were like, well, if we can get through this,
Yeah.
we should just be married.
Sure.
And I was listening to a podcast where both of them were on as an interview, and like they're an adorable couple.
That's cool.
They are literally just like the sweetest people to each other.
Yeah.
I love it. I ride hard for them.
I'm here for dorks and nerds getting beautiful wives and soulmates out of it.
Yes.
So.
Right.
Well,
Is that it?
We
Is that
got-
all you
that's
do? Okay.
that's all my stuff. Yeah, I watched a lot in the last couple
3 hours
weeks.
later.
Yeah.
Damn, thank you. Casey, we got some news to
Yeah, we
cover
do.
Here.
Should we jump into it? Let's jump into the news. We got quite a bit of news. All right, first piece of news that we got here. Since we were talking about Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, the writer of that film is helming a new movie for Eli Craig, the director of Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
I think he's writing it for him, isn't he?
Yes.
Okay, writing it.
Is that what I said?
You said helming.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Writing the movie for Eli Craig, who directed Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. The movie will be a Netflix original titled The Hills Have Eyes for You.
I'm super stoked for this because
Yeah.
it seems like we have two filmmakers who had meta ideas about the genre coming together, hopefully, to have like this grand baby of
It sounds like
Ultimately meta movie?
it sounds like a rom-com, but
Yeah.
it has the title of The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, I'm super
That
excited.
title is amazing.
Yeah.
Two of the, in my opinion, two of the best horror comedies of the last decade.
Oh, I would
Plus.
100% agree with Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It might be my favorite horror comedy. It might.
It made our list.
Yeah.
It was up there.
Yeah, it didn't it?
Yeah, if I was on that countdown, it would have been higher.
That's a yearly watch for me.
Oh my god, that's almost a
Love it.
quarterly watch for me.
It used to be yearly watch for me. I haven't watched it in a long time. But yeah, wow, fun movie.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I didn't see. Was there a plot or anything
No,
for it?
not yet.
No.
Okay. Shudder is set to release Host, which is a Zoom featured film. The film was entirely shot during the COVID-19 pandemic, so it was shot over a 3-month period and will release on July 30th.
I'm sure that'll be a ball of fun.
I'm excited for this. As you can tell from our conversations, I just love a good webcam movie. I'm here for.
We had a whole argument
We
about
did.
webcam movies,
did.
didn't we? Yeah.
I'm here for both Unfriendeds and The Den I Ride Hard for. So I'm stoked for this.
Or 3/4 of the way.
I'm like, all these webcam specials though are kind of getting me like, all right, I get it. Like, we can't shoot movies in a typical style right now, and it almost depresses me just watching them in that style. You know what I mean? It's kind of, this might be very good. I'm on board for most of Shudder's
Use that
original.
anxiety to watch this movie and then be more scared of it while you watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know what to expect from. I don't know what else we can do with that. I feel like The Den and Unfriended, both of them, as much as I loathe the second one, I think they've done everything you can do with a horror webcam feature film. I don't know what else you can do.
I haven't seen
I think
The
you
Den. Is it body horror? Because I could see body horror on a webcam being really cool.
Ooh, you need to watch The Den.
Yeah, I know I do. I've heard you guys talking
Unfriended
about it.
wishes it was The Den.
What's that?
I said Unfriended wishes it was The Den.
Man.
I think we talked about this on the show. I
we've
felt like I
talked
needed
about
a shower after watching
We've talked
The Den.
about it a lot. I can't recommend The Den enough.
Yeah.
It's my favorite horror movie of the last decade. So
So that is The Host, July 30th on Shudder. The next piece of news that we got here, a long-lost George A. Romero film is getting a 4K restoration. The Amusement Park. It has no set release dates or distribution as of yet, but this was recently discovered, I do believe.
yeah.
Romero has a terrible track record for keeping copyrights on his movies and losing them.
Yeah. Even when he's dead, like he's just getting the shaft, you know. And
Yeah.
we'll see what I'm sure someone's gonna pick it up and release it, but either the producer or the writer of the movie or someone. So this is the scariest thing he's ever done. So. I'm sort of, which could be a lot of hullabaloo, but
Yeah.
I'm so stoked to see what comes about with this, especially with the 4K restoration.
Yeah, I'm on board for it. Anything Romero does, I'll get on board for.
Amusement Park horror is always
Words
a
hard.
good
I
place to
love
set it.
that this was commissioned by like a church, and he just said, "All right, sure, I'll do it," and then he made his own movie.
Going full Ed Wood on it.
Yeah.
Next piece of news that we have is a one Blake is very excited for.
Ooh, I forgot already. What is it?
It is a trailer for Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo, which is a direct-to-video
You guys let me know when you need me back. All right.
direct-to-video Scooby-Doo movie that is coming out this October. The first one to be featuring a Halloween title, and I believe one of the only ones to have a Halloween setting.
Yep. I
Yeah.
mean, you can kind of finagle Witch's Ghost into that, where it's like that fall, autumn type of thing.
Or any Scooby-Doo thing,
Well,
really.
yeah, but I'm very excited for this. I mean, it's got Elvira, it's got Bill Nye, it's got
Science
Halloween.
guy.
It literally looks...
Oh, that Bill Nye.
That guy.
Yeah, not Bill Nye, the cable guy or anything like that.
No. It also has the Scarecrow from Batman. From Batman, like the DC Batman.
Seriously?
He is the main villain of the movie.
Oh, that's so cool. I did not realize
yeah.
that. I love the trailer for this. I love that it looks like a Halloween version of Mad Max Fury Road. There's like literally a road derby where they're throwing pumpkins at other pumpkins.
Green Goblin style.
Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about, we were trying to go through some of the news, and me and Sam were both, we have to talk about this.
No, let's tell that story accurately. I said, we can get rid of the Scooby-Doo one, right? And both of you eyeballed me and said, no, we're talking about this. And I said, okay.
Me and Sam are going to do a spin-off of the Killer Countdown called the Do Heads Podcast.
Yes.
It's all Scooby-Doo all the time. Yeah, I ride hard for Scooby-Doo. I have not seen Scoob yet. I don't want to pay $20 to it's on HBO.
Then are
so
you a do-head?
because I heard it's not very good.
Then are you a do-head?
It's a cute family movie that is not in the slightest bit scary or Scooby-Doo-esque.
I've heard there's no mystery in the movie.
No, there isn't.
That is why I like Scooby-Doo.
It's a superhero movie. It's Scooby-Doo meets the Blue Falcon. And if you watched a wide variety of Hanna-Barbera characters growing up, like on Boomerang, you will probably enjoy this for what it is.
I heard Captain Caveman's in it.
Oh God, yeah, and Captain Caveman. They got Tracy Morgan to voice Captain Caveman, and he's
Captain
perfect.
Caveman.
Yeah, and that's basically what it is.
Yeah, I think this trailer.
And then it turns out that I was not the Velociraptor's father.
Yes, happy Halloween, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm on board.
I'm happy for you
too.
guys.
Just wait till we get the new show started and we do a Scooby-Doo episode, Blake.
I foresee a break for me during that episode.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
I ride hard for the two theatrical live actions.
Oh my God, yes.
Scooby-Doo on Zombie
I've never
Island
seen
is a former movie on the Killer Countdown.
Is it?
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Kids?
Kids horror movies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo
I
on Zombie
love
Island
Zombie
was the
Island.
first movie that traumatized me as a kid, honestly. Like, it's...
All
That movie,
Yeah.
okay. As
Can
much
I
as
watch that without watching the first one?
What do you mean, the first one?
Is it?
Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is one of the animated ones.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
no. Sorry.
It's not. What's his name?
Wait, have you
The
not
Matthew
seen
Lillard.
the two live-action ones with Matthew Lillard?
Come on.
You have to watch them for Matthew Lillard alone. Are you
Mr.
kidding?
Sam Lenz. Those came out when I was like 17 or 18 years old.
Well, they came out when I was in 4th grade, okay? So...
Yeah.
Please excuse my ignorance at the time.
I've gone through phases where I loved those as kids, didn't like them as a teen because, they're not very cool, and now I've come back to like, yeah, these movies rule.
Oh, I never had any phases. I loved them all the way through. I remember in 4th grade, like...
Yeah.
I remember in 4th grade literally gathering a group of kids, and I made them be my Scooby-Doo gang. Like, I assigned them Fred, Daphne, Velma.
A do-head convention.
I'm pretty sure I made one of them be a dog for Scooby-Doo, and I was Shaggy.
Yeah, we're going to have to fight who's going to be
Scooby-Doo.
Shaggy because I'm always Shaggy.
Fine, I'll be Scoob.
It's fine. We'll flip.
away.
That was pretty good. Let's jump to a very different trailer. That is the new stop-motion teaser trailer for Candyman, which has been pushed to October of this year. Blake, you did not watch this. You refused to
watch it, based on the fact that I just don't watch trailers.
Yeah.
Period. So.
So let's spoil it for him. There's not a whole lot to spoil, but oh my God,
It's dark.
Yeah, I wish they would have released this before the first trailer.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of, okay, let's see where we're going to go with that first trailer. If this is the tone for
100%,
Nia DaCosta's Candyman, we are in for something big.
Yeah. I am very... The music. I hope this is actually music from the
I
movie
can hear
that's
the
in this
music
trailer.
through your headphones.
Yeah.
When you lay them down, and the music sounds pretty cool.
The music's
Yeah.
great.
It reminded me of like a 70s, like something like Let's Scare Jessica to Death, or something like sort of like melancholic that turns sinister at some
haunting,
point,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, very cool.
Yeah, and it's all, I don't even know, is stop motion the right thing?
Like it's like paper puppets,
Yeah.
basically. It's really cool.
Is there
Yeah.
any footage from the movie in it?
No.
Maybe
It's
I
all
will.
paper.
You should actually watch it because
I have no idea the backstory on this. I'm assuming she just made this during
Yeah,
the
she just
pandemic.
made it during quarantine is
Yeah.
all it was. She was
So-
like, like, we're getting delayed. I want to give you guys something.
Keep hyping people
yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
So,
And the Candyman stuff is only the last 30 seconds of this trailer, too.
yeah.
The stuff before that is all other stuff
Yeah.
that relates to this.
Maybe
It's
I
really
won't watch it then.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I can't wait for this to come out.
Next up, we have a new David F. Sandberg horror flick that'll be on the way. It has the title of The Calling. So no plot information as of yet.
I
But
thought it was about a priest.
Is there?
I'm
terrible at this.
I don't know. It might. maybe I'm just blowing smoke up my ass. I don't know, but I think what I heard.
Let's go to IMDb.
What I heard is like it's about a priest who goes out to the middle of the woods to confront like a demon that terrorized him as a child or something like that.
I am in if that's what it's about.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in before, but
that's what I think. Maybe I'm just completely making this up. Is there anything on IMDb?
This IMDb is not for that calling.
Oh. Is it the calling? The culling?
The
Cull?
Yep.
I don't have my glasses on. I can't even see what you're typing in.
This is making for great airtime. There's nothing even for him on IMDb.
That's not
here.
true. I found it. A troubled priest confines himself to a remote cabin in the middle of the woods where he attempts to make a last stand against the demon that terrorized his family when he was a child.
There we go. I was about to say, that sounds familiar to me.
Typical Sandberg fare.
Yeah. I'm on board for this, even if it means we have to wait for Shazam 2.
Did you guys see his short film that he released like 2 months ago?
No, I didn't watch that.
Super good.
His shorts are great.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I've had a couple nights where I'll just pop on YouTube, go to his YouTube page, and just click, watch all the shorts.
Well, it's cool because he also does like the behind the scenes stuff and like shows you how he does all of it.
Yes.
You know, I mean, even on his like
He did
big
it for
budget stuff
Shazam.
like Shazam. Yeah, he did a whole feature on like how he created certain effects in that movie. I just thought that was awesome.
Directors that do stuff like that, where they give people behind the scenes looks on, like, this is how I did it. You can learn how to do it too, because I was in the same position you guys were in at one point. I love them teaching other people how to do.
Oh, 100%.
Do the movie magic. What else we got? Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is canceled by Netflix after its 4th and final season, which I believe is set to come out later this year.
Yeah, it's I am bummed about this. I very much enjoy the show. It's I mean, it's kind of got that CW vibe to it in parts, but it's also not afraid to go full on like satanic panic horror. And the 3rd season there were some really dark moments in it that I very much enjoy this show. I'm gonna be sad to see it leave Netflix because it's kind of been.
There's already a big push for it to
Keep going.
go somewhere else or keep going. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the 2nd season dropped on my birthday a couple of years ago, and it was like one of the best birthday gifts ever because that was when it really hit its stride. Like the 1st season was okay; it was enough for me to be like, I'm interested in the 2nd season, and the 2nd season really. Oh my gosh, I very much enjoy this. I'm sad that Netflix has given it the boot.
I've had it in my queue since it first dropped on Netflix for the 1st season. So maybe now that once its 4th and final season comes out, I'll just binge watch the whole thing.
I just hope they told them before. I hope it's not like a Santa Clarita Diet thing where they end on a cliffhanger.
How many seasons did that get?
I think it only got 3.
Netflix does the 3.
Yeah,
Netflix
it's
writes
like
hard
3
for
or
the
4.
3 seasons.
Yep. And then it's always canned. So hopefully they let the showrunners know at least before this 4th season so that we actually get it tied up because I hate when Netflix. Santa Clarita Diet was one of the worst. I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. That show's great too if no one's watched that.
I've watched an episode or 2.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. Timothy Olyphant.
Who's the actress in that? Drew Barrymore?
Drew Barrymore, yep.
Probably a big fan of hers, but...
Oh, I get that.
Yeah.
If you're not a big fan of hers, you're definitely not going to be a fan of the show.
Yeah.
She's front and center.
A couple more of the bigger news pieces for the last month, and we have to talk about these. We get a new teaser trailer for Halloween Kills and a new release date. So let's first talk about the release date. Moves to October of 2021. That means Halloween Ends moves to October of 2022. Push back a full year for both movies. As to be expected, I think, from what's going on in the world.
Here's my thoughts. Sorry, do you want to...
All I was going to say was it's super weird that they're doing this so early.
Yeah.
But...
Moving it?
Yeah.
I mean,
they
look
wanted to move
at
Candyman.
Fast 9.
No one cares about that movie.
Well, but
Yeah.
the thing with Fast 9 was that they were trying to find an IMAX theater that was because you have like the IMAX deal where it's
I
whereas
think that's the same thing with Halloween here.
Oh,
though,
is it?
They want to keep, well, not the IMAX,
Oh, okay.
but they need the October release date,
well, and that's
and I don't see
Yeah.
theaters being open this October for new movies.
Yeah, that's true. It was one of those movies where I was kind of like, it was Universal, so I was like, well, maybe they'll just do the paid VOD like they have been with so many of their other properties. And I almost, not that I would have preferred that. I love getting to see Michael Myers on the big screen. But I was like, this was my Halloween, like this was my month of October. And I was just gutted when I found out it wasn't coming.
Yeah, I was too. I mean, I was looking forward to it.
I really
see
enjoyed
it.
the 2018 version.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
And I don't want to see it at home. I want to see it on the big screen.
I didn't see the 2018 version in theaters. Yeah. I was out of the country, I think, when it came out, and then when
I saw
came
it
back,
twice in one weekend.
It just didn't happen. But I really liked it. I really wish they would just say, "Screw it, we're gonna give you Halloween." Is it Kills? What's the next one? Halloween Kills, like October 5th, and then we're gonna give you Halloween Ends October 17th or something. That's what I would love to see happen.
Yeah.
I understand wanting to give the time for one movie to breathe. Do they shoot them back to back, or?
I actually don't think Halloween Ends is shot.
Okay,
that might be part of it.
Okay.
Because I kind of thought that too, or even doing it like Rodriguez Tarantino style, where they do like a double bill.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if I would have liked that, but.
Yeah,
I mean,
I get that.
I get why they would want to push. Like, for me, it was kind of like, why'd you push it back a whole year? And then it's like, well, yeah, you probably shouldn't release a Michael Myers movie in April or May.
But I'm pretty sure they have done it.
Rob Zombie still has what? He has one of the weekend, like Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. Well, that was Rob Zombie's
Halloween.
Yeah, which had nothing to do with the actual holiday or franchise.
So this sucks. I didn't watch the teaser. What was that like? Was it pretty good?
It's probably the first 30 seconds of the movie, honestly.
Oh, really?
Is what
it
it
literally
was.
takes place 30 seconds after the last movie.
Yeah, and it's very good. Like, you get to see Jamie Lee Curtis doing her, like...
It's the three Strode girls in the back of that truck from the end of Halloween, and the cops are going to, and fire trucks are going to the fire. And
she just basically, she's like
Let him
screaming,
burn!
let him burn, and then you get a really freaking cool shot of Myers turning towards the camera and like kind of coming out of the darkness, and then Halloween Kills. And,
I'm
it's
still
solid.
waiting for them to explain how they're gonna do Michael coming back this time, because I'm like, how hard are you gonna retcon it this time? Like Halloween Resurrection, where you're like, well, she cut off the wrong guy's head. Sucks for that guy.
At this point, I love the Halloween franchise. I love every single movie individually, but as a franchise, it is so frustrating.
It's the Choose Your Own Adventure horror franchise.
Right. I even love Resurrection. I hate what Resurrection does to H2O.
It has my favorite line of any Halloween movie: "Trick or treat, motherfucker."
Yeah.
I'm super stoked for Halloween Kills because of how much I enjoyed the 2018 version. Who's doing it? Who's behind it? I don't like the fact that like they're coming out and being like, oh, it's a masterpiece, but you'll have to wait for it. And it's like, don't say stuff. Don't say that stuff. I'm glad John Carpenter gets to stay home and get high and play video games and make a bunch of money off this stuff. But he doesn't need to come out and be like, yep, it's just incredibly intense and like hundreds of people are murdered in it. Like, I don't need to hear that stuff. Like, I'm already psyched enough for it, but what do? You gotta sell the movie, I guess.
I was about to say, I don't mind them talking about it. It gets me hyped.
It keeps it in people's minds of when this movie's coming out. So trailer was all right. Didn't show a lot. Yeah. You could get by watching this one.
I'll watch it when I get home.
It gave me the chills.
It is a chilling tale. But let's talk about this next piece of news, our last piece of news. Maybe the biggest one. Who knows?
I was like, what else do... And then I remembered.
We talked about this before, that Ryan Gosling was attached to
I forgot about this.
a Wolfman.
Right?
Yeah.
right?
He was attached to a Wolfman movie for Universal, based on an original idea by him. It was pitched as Nightcrawler meets the Wolfman, which, yep, I'm all for. But
Is
now
there gonna be a stringer in this? Is that what's gonna happen?
it is, there is a little bit of a plot to this. He is a news anchor or news. He works in news in Los Angeles. Is the big thing with this?
So is this kind of like The Howling then?
Yes. That's what I've been hearing it compared to a
Interesting.
lot. But we now have a writer-director for the movie.
Is one
Actually-
writing it too?
He's co-writing it with
With-
Jason Blum's wife.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so Lee Winnell is attached to this
I knew
Universal
that.
Monster.
I spelled that one good,
Yeah.
didn't I?
Uh,
Well, I'm glad this
Yeah.
movie got an upgrade because that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hopefully.
There's no Invisible Man behind the director's chair this time.
Dang it! I'm trying to.
Come on, think of an insidious one.
We've got an insidious director behind this one.
What is going to be his chapter 3 of the Universal Monsters?
Boo! All right.
I already saw this one.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm super psyched. When the news came out that Lee Winnell was possibly being involved, I couldn't think of like a better marriage of material and filmmaker. Like some of the stuff that, I mean, we all love Upgrade. We all love The Invisible Man. Some of the camera work and like the way the camera work sort of mimics or even dictates physical movement in the movies. I'm super excited to see what Winnell comes up with for
A werewolf.
a
movie.
werewolf. Not only just in its movements and maybe killing, but like maybe even the process of changing. I'm really stoked to see what he does with like editing and perspective with this. So I think this is and like the fact that this could be like the launching pad for Winnell into like Hollywood's elite. Even though we all think he's the elite
100%.
genre filmmaker right now, or one of them, like it'll be nice to see if this is his leap to the elite, where everyday moviegoers are like, oh, I want to see the new Lee Winnell joint.
Yeah.
So I hope his budget is still like
I've heard
10
it's
to
like
15
I heard it's like 10
$10 to $15 million.
because Invisible Man was what 7?
7.
Yeah,
Which,
crazy.
That looks like a $15 million movie.
Wasn't Upgrade only like 5 or
5
6?
or 6, yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope keep this 10 to 15, and
Get Rick Baker out of retirement.
we all know that Ryan Gosling works with tours and is not afraid to take chances with some of his material. So I hope he's able to use some of his movie star cachet to do his own channeled thing with this. I can't wait to see what this is about.
Oh yeah.
This is the right step to go for Universal.
And,
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked for, like, I have no problem with them using the same director. I mean, look, I think they're going back to the original Universal formula in that way. Mm-hmm. Having James Whale do Frankenstein and the Invisible Man. Now we're getting Lee Winnell doing Invisible Man, Wolfman. I mean, if James Wan is still attached to that Frankenstein movie they've been talking about, just let these two guys run the show for a little while. They know what they're doing.
But I
and
do
having
also
Blum
want to see David
produce-
Coep's Bride of Frankenstein sometime.
And
I would
honestly,
love that.
if Karen Kusama knocks Dracula out,
Oh my god.
get her more work.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, guess what Karen Kusama directed? Jennifer's Body.
and The Invitation.
Yes, that too, but
she's one of my favorite directors
Yes.
right now.
yeah, she's great.
Yeah, like one of our news pieces today was cut, but it was Blumhouse has no plans for a Universal.
Yeah. Jason Blum said Dark Universe is done.
But
Yeah.
we have some hope with this year,
Yeah.
and
That Dark Universe, I think that's
Well,
what he
I'm-
was pushing.
right.
And people kind of took that out of, oh, so you guys aren't going to do a shared, you can still do a shared universe. You don't need to announce Johnny Depp is the Invisible Man and
And you don't need to do a freaking group photo before even shooting the movies.
a photoshopped group photo.
Oh, it is?
Oh, none of them were in the same room
Oh, I didn't
together.
know that.
Yeah.
I love that photo though. I love looking at that and going, oh, what could have been? Who cast Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man? Are you kidding me?
I think it's the one thing I could watch him in. So
Because you can't see him.
yeah, exactly.
You can't see him in his wild fake eyebrows and teeth and white face.
Honestly, I think, not to go off on a tangent, but like I do think he could play a good Invisible Man.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of his voice acting, I think he could really nail that. So I like, all jokes aside, I would like to see a Johnny Depp Invisible Man movie. I think that'd be one of his best roles.
But look at Universal's plan with that, though. The Mummy was $150 million budget for the Mummy.
That looked like it was about $150 worth.
Just about.
You could make
You had Lee Winnell make the Invisible Man for $7 million. Like,
Yeah.
you don't need to spend $150 million.
That's why Blum is such an ingenious producer.
He knows where to put the money.
He's almost like a
Roger Corman.
Modern day Roger Corman.
Yep,
He's sort
100%.
Of like you want to make a movie? I'll give you $5 million.
Yeah.
Oh, you have this idea? I'll give you 7.
Yeah.
I'll give you 7, and you prove to me that you can make something else. I'll give you 10 the next time. He's sort of he's not going to be. I don't know. This might be a wild statement. He's not going to be as influential, I don't think. But
I would beg to differ on that, honestly.
I think other studios are already taking the Blumhouse formula.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I meant like we're not getting like the Jonathan Demme's or Martin Scorsese's yet.
That's fair.
Out of this group of filmmakers, I could be wrong, but
We just talked about one. Lee Winnell. He's working his way up. Like,
he's got a long way.
Yeah,
he does
Blake.
have a way to- yeah.
Listen, I love.
You were talking about auteurs, and he's
know,
working his way up.
Yes.
I think we are in the early stages of something really cool.
I hope so, because there's a lot of promise with the directors attached and what we've seen already, and the potential where it could go.
Yeah, there was one other thing we didn't talk about. That Universal's working on a kids monster movie.
Yes.
Yeah. What was? I only saw the headline.
I just saw the headline too.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a kids, maybe like a Goosebumps type movie that's inspired by the Universal monster.
Animated?
I'm
not sure. Maybe. Yeah.
I would be all for an animated version. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Basically like an animated Monster Squad or something. That'd be rad.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, monster movies for kids would still work. Like, Hotel Transylvania is some of the best Sandler stuff he's done in a while.
Oh my gosh. Hotel Transylvania 2, that second act where they're going around trying to teach the kid how to be a monster, is some of the most ingenious monster movie stuff.
Have you seen these?
No.
They're good.
Yeah. They are actually, like, the first one is okay. The second and third are phenomenal. Like, okay, not phenomenal. I'm overhyping them. But they're very good. They're very good.
Hotel Transylvania.
Yes. Yeah.
They're good.
And
They're good.
And Sandler is actually a really good Drac. Yeah.
Okay.
I do
It's
not
some of the best
say
Sandler
blah, blah,
crew
blah.
stuff. It's easily the best Sandler crew stuff
I
they've
think
done.
what I'm going to do is hold off until my daughter is old enough to watch these.
Yeah.
And then I'll check them out with her. I bet I would love them watching with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're good.
They're good. You're in for a real treat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The thing
Especially the second one.
Countdown. Crazy.
Yeah. All right, that's it for the news. Let's jump into the game,
wow,
Blake.
Let's do this. All right. We have not discussed
Oh my God.
Today's game title yet. Today we're doing...
We're only an hour in. We should probably announce it.
The game this month is about a very integral part of horror movies, specifically a female part of horror movies. We are doing the top 8 final girls countdown. Casey and Mr. Sam Lenz are gonna count down the top 8 final girls who they think are of all time. I'm stoked to see this. I have one movie I would love to see on here. We will see if you guys agree.
Is it Chopping Mall?
No. But you guys beforehand were talking about possible rules and regulations, and I want to hear about those so I have a better understanding of where you guys are coming from for this topic today.
So, yeah, we're going to be talking final girls, not scream queens.
Yeah.
Because that is a very big discrepancy.
There's a difference.
Scream
Yep.
queen is the actress.
Yep, and doesn't necessarily have to be a final girl.
Yes.
A Scream Queen,
Like
yeah.
the one we talked about before the show was Barbara Crampton.
Yeah.
Not necessarily ever really a final girl in any of the movies.
but a very
But
well-known scream queen.
She is very much a scream queen. We will have some scream queens on this list.
Oh yeah.
But we're talking characters in this.
So
Yep.
okay, so when I read the name off, it's going to be a character.
Yes.
It'll be a character.
And we'll obviously talk about the actress that is playing them.
Of
But
course.
And a final girl doesn't necessarily have to be a girl in certain movies. I'm not sure if we're going to play any that are not, but
I guess we didn't talk about this. If one
I
comes
don't
up,
have any that I'm going to play, but there's one I'm going to honorable mention.
we can talk about. I have a couple that would fall into that.
Yeah.
If we do that, but I'm not playing. I'm strictly sticking to these are the female characters of these movies.
That's kind of what I wanted this list to be, was a celebration of females in horror. So that's why I will not be playing any of my male final girls,
no Jesse from Nightmare on Elm Street.
which is exactly who I was thinking.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's sort of where I was going. I kind of figured that's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Ash Williams is a final.
Oh yes, yeah, Ash Williams, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So
as a girl,
yes, all in terms of what a final girl means in terms of horror, he technically is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
I don't know if we had anything else. I'm sticking to for example, if there is a remake, I would be playing or if there's an original and a remake, I'm only playing from one version.
Yeah.
So if there's two actresses to play them, I'm sticking to then the one actress.
Yeah.
Get what I mean?
Kind of.
Halloween being an example.
Yeah, like we're
There's
not
two
playing the
versions
Rob
of Laurie
Zombie Laurie Strode
Okay.
because she's not even a final girl. Okay.
Anyway. So if one of us plays someone from Halloween that is also in the remake, we are
Sorry,
only
but
counting
I was-
one version of
You can
that
cut that out.
character.
Interesting.
We already know what name we were talking about. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that was about it.
All right.
What's your guys? Yeah.
So
Anyway,
this is Sam's first time playing, so I will go over the rules.
I've only had like
For
3
him.
nightmares about it this week.
And the people who are listening, you guys are making a top 8. You both get 4 picks. You guys are going to alternate, so one of you is going to get the odd numbers and one of you is going to get the even numbers. So one of you will get 8, 6, 4, 2. The other person will get 7, 5, 3, 1. You both get a veto or a stab. You get one of these. Once you use it, it is gone. You can get it. Sorry. You can use it if you don't like a movie or if you want to move it higher. Once you use it, it is gone, like I said. I think that's it. We're going to rock, paper, scissors for to see who goes first. And Sam, when you play a movie, you're going to hand me the card and I'm going to read it off.
Sounds good.
Okay.
sorry, I was writing out our stabs.
I was like, what is
We
Casey
need
doing?
these.
He
We
is
need these.
distracting me.
Sorry.
No. Are we doing 2 out of 3 or just the first person?
We'll just do the first one,
person.
so.
That
Yeah.
wins. All right.
It's a rock paper scissors shoot or
What?
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 You never played rock paper scissors shoot?
Let's play rock,
Is that
paper,
the-
scissors, stab.
Stab.
Yeah.
So what Freytel is?
Rock
Well, we
paper
go on
scissors
stab.
stab. Okay, rock paper scissors stab, and then you go on stab.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Go on stab.
You count it out.
I'll oversee.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Rock. No, you say rock, paper, scissors, stab.
And we'll go on stab. Yes, we'll say
no,
it.
no. I've never.
Were you never a middle schooler?
No. If you want the truth, I went from 5th grade to 8th grade. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah,
Just skip
You
it.
must have been really smart.
yeah. I got lucky.
Yeah.
So just I never played rock paper scissors like that before. I always did the, and then you just go.
Oh. We always did rock paper scissors shoot, but we're gonna go stab because
Yeah.
kill a
So-
countdown. Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you want me to do?
Just say rock paper scissors stab.
Okay. Rock paper scissors.
But you have to say it so that we can
I
actually.
said sisters. Rock. Ready? Rock paper scissors stab.
Now we gotta have try it again because we both did scissors.
Rock paper scissors stab.
Okay, so Sam won.
Oh God, what do I want? Do I want the number 1?
Or do you want the evens number 8?
Nah, I
Sam,
want.
you were crying about not having number 1 earlier.
Yeah, I want the number 1.
Okay.
I hope
I'm gonna
that
go
all
odds.
stays in the show, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
easily staying in the show.
Perfect. So who's going first?
We have to make fun of Blake not knowing how to
Well,
play rock
he's
paper
got.
scissors.
I'm
Casey's
from
got
South Dakota.
evens.
We
Yeah.
just had electricity turned on last year.
Us good old Iowa boys. We watched Children of the Corn. We played baseball and rock paper scissors shoot.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I had a better childhood than that. All right.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this.
All right.
Casey, give me your pick for number 8.
Oh God, I'm so
And I will comedically read it out loud for the audience. And hopefully there's no rock, paper, scissors involved reading the name of the pick, because otherwise I will be lost. I'll say sisters instead of
Can I
scissors.
say, like, I was seriously considering playing something like Katherine Heigl in Bride of Chucky to make him use his stab right away.
Full disclosure, Casey loves that movie.
Oh, I do too, but it's Katherine Heigl.
All right. Casey has a huge smile on his face. I'm really curious what's happening there. With the number 8 pick on the
Screen drafts. What show are you on?
Killing Countdown, Final Girls Countdown. Casey has picked Mia from The Evil Dead.
The remake.
Mia from the Evil Dead remake. Jane Levy. Yeah, modern final girl. What I love about Mia in this movie, she starts off as... She is the main character throughout the movie, but in the first half of this movie, she's the main antagonist of the movie as well. She's the one that gets possessed by the evil.
Yeah.
She's the reason all the friends are at the cabin. She's obviously, to set up the movie, they're all at the cabin in the Evil Dead remake because she's going through drug addiction. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to get her sober from that. And once she gets possessed in this movie, she becomes the main antagonist of the movie, and they're all trying to figure out what to do with her and how to stop the evil. But then you get to the final act of the movie where she does become the final girl of the movie. She becomes our new Ash Williams. And now the evil is gone from her. She becomes our hero of the movie. She becomes Ash Williams from part 2. She's cutting off her arm. She's using the chainsaw. She's in maybe one of my favorite climaxes of any movie ever, the blood-soaked finale of the Evil Dead remake. And I think what makes her worthy of this list for being such a new character to have on here is that it's so different than any other final girl we're going to have on this list. There's no one else like this, where she starts off as the main antagonist of the movie and then ends up as the hero of the movie that you're rooting for. Mm-hmm. Because that's such a delicate line to ride, where you're like, well, I don't like this person. They were just the bad person that I was scared of 20 minutes ago. Why am I all of a sudden rooting for him? But this movie really works well in that manner. So that is my pick for the number 8 spot, Mia from the Evil Dead remake.
I see no lies in what you are saying. I have never actually sat down and watched the Evil Dead remake all the way through. I have probably seen the entire thing in bits and pieces, and yeah, I like this character. I think you're right. I think it goes through, as someone who's watched it in pieces, there are times where I'm like, oh wait, is she the villain? And then I've watched a different part. I'm like, no, she's not the villain. What is going on? And so I really do need to just sit down and watch this whole thing all the way through. But yes, I do think this character is magnificent. I have no problem with her being at the number 8 spot, so I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, like you said, it's a nice twist on what the idea of a final girl is. It almost would have... You almost could have played her higher, maybe. In a way, like, you could have gotten some others in there.
Yeah. And
then been like, okay, this is the twist on all of this right now. But at the same time, I understand why it's first, because it's not like a true, like, quote-unquote final girl.
Yeah. She is definitely a final girl, like,
right,
through and through, but not in, like, she was
sense.
chased by the killer the entire movie.
Yeah.
But I think the reason I put her here at 8 is the Evil Dead remake is still going through the resurgence of people are like, well, yeah, that movie ruled. Why were we not championing it in 2013 when the movie came out, or whatever year it was? And now all of a sudden everybody's like, well, yeah, if we're getting Evil Dead 4, let's team them up. Why is Ash not meeting Mia, and why are we not getting dual chainsaw battles against Deadites? Like, that's what Evil Dead fans want. So she has to be on this list, and I think if we did this maybe 3 years down the road, she might be higher on the list then. But especially, we only get one movie with her. I think that's another reason I got to put it here at 8. So, yeah, Mia, cool. Evil Dead.
Sam, Your
That gives
first
me
pick
a
ever.
number. Oh God.
What are you gonna hand me? Casey's already getting.
You know what? Honestly, he might stab this one.
Okay.
This is another hot take.
Right.
I'm sorry.
At number 7, the movie that I alluded to earlier that I said I hope makes this list.
Okay.
It was?
Max from Final Girls.
So, my reasoning behind this is, The Final Girls is it's a phenomenal movie. It is a love letter to 80s horror, while also being a very emotional mother-daughter story. The character of Max, played by Taissa Farmiga, who...
She's incredible in this
Yeah,
movie.
she is. She's fantastic. The basic story of this movie is that her mother was a scream queen who was famously killed during a sex scene in...
That's her claim to fame, basically.
Yeah, that's her claim to fame, and she's been struggling ever since. Well, she loses her mother in a car accident. And in that sense, won't watch the movies that her mother was famous in. She has no desire to. Her friends, however, are big horror movie people. They bring her to this screening of her mother's big starring breakout role, and an accident happens at the theater where they find themselves inadvertently in the movie, and Max has a chance to basically essentially she tries to save her mother inside this movie within a movie. And I don't know if there's ever been a slasher movie that has actually made me cry until The Final Girls. It is an emotional, like Betty Davis Eyes. Yes. I cannot even listen to that song anymore without getting a little choked up. The ending, the third act, I'm thinking about it and I'm getting goosebumps. Just the journey that this character takes is incredible, and I know it's a very new movie, and that's why I put it lower on this list. But I do. I love this movie. I wanted to at least talk about it. So if you need to stab it, I 100% understand.
I'm not going to stab it, but I have not seen this movie.
Oh, really?
I have not. I've heard good things. In doing research for the episode, she was one of the newer people that have come up on some other lists. So, and I've heard really good things about this movie, and I think we have to have a Farmiga on here. Mm-hmm. I don't know necessarily if her sister would fall into a Final Girl territory.
Yeah.
In her franchise. But yeah, I'm all for this.
Cool. Excellent.
Yeah, you said everything. Boy, the second scene where they use... There's two scenes where they use Betty Davis's eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the second one is incredibly powerful.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
God, just an incredible sequence. Like, what you're experiencing with the callback from the song, with what it meant from earlier in the movie, and what's happening at the current part of the movie. It's a really weird thing where you're watching like a movie within a movie, but like there's so much emotional resonance to what's happening with the characters and how they wrap the whole thing up is just super, super cool. Yeah. And it has a great twist to a possible sequel? I don't know.
Yeah, Oh, 100%. And I don't know if the sequel would be as good because you wouldn't have that emotional backbone that the first one does.
Like you'd
but
be cheating the movie if you made a sequel to it.
Yeah.
But maybe that ending is sort of like a joke.
Yeah.
About...
It's a way to make you laugh kind of through your tears because, at that point you're kind of almost emotionally devastated.
I mean, Taissa Farmiga, this is probably one of the best female performances in horror movies of like the last decade.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
She's so good in this movie.
There's so much, like, her eyes in this just, I love it. I love it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Max, Final Girls.
Would make the list.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I've been excited to watch it.
I genuinely think you would love it, Casey.
Yeah. Here we are at number 6, and we already have 2 new ones on here, and I had one that just came to mind as well. So I'm wondering how many newer movies we're gonna have on this list. So it's making me wonder about the rest of this list.
It's our list.
Game, so, You guys.
And it's making me
This was
worried about playing this next one here. But I have to go with my heart.
I can't wait.
I think this is the spot.
I can't
for
wait
it.
to hear which Annabelle character you put on here.
Annabelle herself.
Okay. This.
Did I give you the right one? Make sure. Okay, yeah, that's
Okay. This one I expected much higher, but I'm not playing. I don't care.
I think this is where the game's going to change.
Well, let's see if the stab comes out here.
Yeah.
At number 6, Casey has decided to play Laurie Strode from Halloween.
I hear the boos through the internet already, and in Sam's eyes.
Okay.
I wonder if is she actually a final girl?
Oh, she is 100%.
She is definitely a final girl.
I'll let you talk about it because I actually have interesting thoughts about where this is on this list.
Okay. Laurie. Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason I have Laurie Strode here at number 6 is okay. So I'm going on the Jamie Lee Curtis Laurie Strode. So I'm going to base this on Halloween 1, 2, H2O, Resurrection, and the new Halloween. So 5 movies that she is physically in. 4 through 6 doesn't count because they just kill her off, and that's retconned later. Anyway, so in the first Halloween, Laurie is the main character in the movie, but she never is under the impression that her friends are getting killed until the last 15 minutes of the movie.
Yep.
So in that terms, she's not ever fighting back against Michael until the end, and in that, she's just trying to get away from the guy. It's all.
That was where I was coming from with my comment about that, but
it's all reactionary. It's never she's gonna go kick his ass until we get even Halloween 2. She's laying in a hospital bed for the entire
she's
movie.
not even really a character in Halloween 2.
Yeah, until Donald Pleasance shows up, and he's the one that takes out Michael in that one.
Donald Pleasance is the final girl in
He's,
Halloween 2.
he's another final girl. But the case for her being on this list comes with Halloween H2O for me. Because that's where she's been waiting for Michael, her brother, to come back for 20 years. And she has this feeling like she knows he's probably not dead, and he might come back. And in that one, she's finally taking some action. Like, she's dealing with the stress of having that happen to her as a teenager, and now with her son being that same age, and how he would deal with that is kind of what's going through her mind. And I like Laurie Strode. Like, my favorite Laurie Strode is from Halloween H2O, and how she's dealing with everything, and the reaction she takes. And I mean, if you talk about any, I think out of any final girl on this list, what she does to Michael at the end of H2O is my favorite way of killing off a slasher character.
Yep.
Like the thing that horror
The last 10 minutes of that movie are incredible.
Is incredible, and that reminds me of a character maybe we'll talk about later too. But anyway, she takes action in that. She steals the ambulance. She goes and decapitates Michael Myers, cuts his head straight off. But then that's retconned right away in the next movie, and she's killed off unceremoniously. But then we get a resurrection of her in Halloween 2018. Which
is actually my favorite incarnation of the character.
Of her, yeah. I have problems with her in that. Not enough to dislike her, but I have problems with it. But she's definitely a very different Laurie Strode in that movie than any of the other incarnations of the character. So she has to be on this list. She's obviously one of the greatest final girls ever. But I think there is better final girls than Laurie Strode.
I am not going to stab this. What's funny is I was thinking you were going to play it higher. I had Laurie Strode at about 4 or 5.
Okay. So we're not far off.
For basically the same reasons. She's not a character in some of the movies that she's actually known for. I mean, like, I think Halloween 78 is a masterpiece. It's my favorite movie of all time. But Laurie doesn't come into the fold, she's not an active part of the movie until the last 15 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I would maybe put her 1 or 2 higher, but I'm not gonna stab for that. I think that's a solid pick. Like you said, she needs to be on this list, but I'm not super concerned with her being that low. So, come at me, internet.
Come at us.
Yeah, come at us.
Yeah, and I think having the 2 characters that we had before this, the 2 newer characters that have only had 1 movie, I think the longevity of Laurie Strode is why it's here still.
Yeah.
Because if it was Halloween 1 and 2, I don't know if I would play Laurie Strode a Final Girls list.
Scream Queen, maybe.
Definitely Scream Queen for Jamie
sure.
Lee. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie Lee would almost be a number one.
I think she's my
Scream Queen.
I think she's my number one Scream Queen.
Yeah.
Because of how many
Yeah.
horror movies she's been in, and
Well,
and the reason she is why we have Scream Queen.
Right.
But yeah, I like this number 6 here because I have five or six other ones that could fit above this. So
All right.
Hopefully Sam
what do you think of
agrees
this?
with you. Yeah, well, like I said,
You said you thought it was going to be higher.
I thought it'd be higher. And then I also, like, when I was saying I questioned her as a final girl, it was based off the first one, where I was like, did she even really do anything? You know? So I'm glad for the explanation as to why her character, and I'm behind it. You know, I just, like I said, I in terms of prestige, I thought she'd be higher, but as we're discussing everything, she is more of a Scream Queen as opposed to a final girl taking names.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm waiting for Sam.
Yeah, I was just gonna make a joke about the remake because she's not. That's a whole nother thing. She's a very, very different character in that too.
Oh my god.
Especially Halloween 2. Oof.
This is so nerve-wracking.
I can feel your anxiety over here.
Oh my gosh, this is the moment that my stress nightmares came in this week. I am going to go with.
How many spots? We got 5 spots left.
We
Okay.
got 5 spots left.
I have 6 in the running.
Oof.
Oh my god, I don't know.
Some
I'm
of them I
playing
will
this
not
one.
feel bad.
I'm playing this one a little low, in my opinion, but I also just want to make sure they're on there.
Okay.
Another oldie,
Okay.
even older. At number 5, Sam is playing Jess from Black Christmas, 1974.
So let's just get this out of the way. Black Christmas 74 is a movie that is unparalleled in scariness. It has had 2 remakes that fail to live up to even a modicum of what the original did. Jess is one of my favorite final girls because the whole movie is about women's rights. It's not even all that subtle in the movie. But this is the only final girl I can think of that literally, like, kills her abusive boyfriend. It just, like, sorry, spoiler for 74 if you haven't seen it. She literally, like, she's a self-made woman. She doesn't take crap from any man. And you could make the argument that she's sort of like Laurie in the fact that, like, she's not really an active part. She doesn't necessarily know her friends are being killed until towards the end. But when she does find out, the ingenuity and the way that she fights back against Billy, I love it. I think it's phenomenal. I love this character. This might be where I get stabbed. I can't read your guys' faces right now. I cannot, but yes. Jess from Black Christmas 74.
I mean, we both love Black Christmas.
It's the greatest Christmas horror movie ever.
It's
100%, yeah.
It's great.
Not as good as Santa's Sleigh, but
Case is very sorry about that.
I was not expecting this high. I did not have her written down.
If you want to stab, I got all of my thoughts out, so I'm good.
Yeah,
I got
but
to talk about
I
it.
feel like you're very passionate about her, and I don't know if you would play her higher.
Casey stabbed this first-timer movie off the list. Would you? Jeez.
Honestly, I don't think I would play her higher than this.
Oh.
There are other ones that I really want on.
My thing with Jess is she is a great character, a great lead actor or lead character in a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is with her being a final girl, I'm kind of running into the Laurie Strode thing of it too, where
Yeah, you kind of alluded to that.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
and but Billy, my whole thing is Billy's technically still out there.
Yeah, and yeah.
But
Yeah.
what is a final girl? Like, does she have to actually
I think
kill
she's got
people?
to. Doesn't necessarily have to. In that movie, I feel for me, for a final girl, they should rid the evil of that movie.
I think they just need to survive.
Well, and she rid some of the evil from that movie. From,
Which
you know,
her boyfriend, who
right.
in many cases some people think it was Billy. He was Billy, but no,
The ending-
but he's not.
Yeah, the ending completely negates that.
Yeah.
He's in
Yeah.
Behind the Mask with.
Yeah, he's in Behind the Mask. Oh my God, yeah, I have 5 or 6 other ones that could make it above her. So
So
I'm
hold on. Do you
No, I'm
think-
stabbing this.
No, but just let me say something. Do you think it even counts?
as much if we're having Laurie Strode on this list, I think she would count.
Okay.
She is the survivor girl is
Okay.
another term for final
Okay.
girl. So she survives Black Christmas, but I just don't feel.
So you're stabbing this.
I'm stabbing it. Yeah.
I
If he would have played it at 7 instead, I think I would have left it. But I think we have Laurie Strode at 6. We gotta be
then I'm
with some
going-
all timers here.
I'm going modern then.
All right.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, this is a better number 5.
So just an FYI, this is Sam's replacement, and it's staying.
It's staying. Yep.
Sam, when you were talking about ingenuity with Black Christmas,
Yes.
a movie immediately popped in my head, and this is that movie.
Yes.
Um,
This is the natural progression from Jess, basically.
I'm going to steal the light for a second. I actually had tickets to see this movie at Toronto Film Festival back in 2011. And it was like my 4th or 5th movie of the day. And I was just like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm going to go home in a hotel.
No.
This movie will be out in 3 months, and I'll see it then. And infamously, this movie got delayed by like 2 or 3 years.
Oh, I know what movie you're talking about now.
At number 5, Sam Lenz is playing You're Next. The final girl is Erin. I knew you.
Yes!
I knew Casey had it.
Okay.
I'm not surprised by this.
So
Listen, Sam. Casey's love of this movie is
It's right there. I mean, it's on the wall.
right,
There's
right.
a poster on the wall.
Yes.
well known on the Killer Countdown that Casey loves You're Next.
okay, this movie is phenomenal. And Erin she ushered in a new wave of
I
Final
would
Girl.
argue she's top 3 Final Girls.
Well, she did. She is the modern Final Girl. She is the Final Girl that has the survival skills, that fights back. Did you want to play this higher?
This was my number 2.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Too bad.
I did
He
not.
can stab his own. I mean,
I don't know if I want to play Erin higher though.
I have
She's-
other ones. But
She's so well. I guess she's not that new. I have ones that I want
I would
higher.
argue she is the ultimate Final Girl.
Really?
I would argue she's the number 1 Final Girl.
I was really nervous about playing it at all. Honestly,
I argue her as a character is the number 1 final girl, but we have more iconic ones that are to
Right.
follow,
As far
which
as-
I'm fine
As
with.
far as iconography, she's not up there. But in
She should
terms
be.
of what it means to
she
the
will
movie-
be in a few
Yes.
decades.
Right.
Honestly,
But in terms of what she means to a Final Girl idea, I think she's like number 1.
Oh,
But I will
100%.
let you talk about it.
I just this movie did, like I said, she ushered in a new wave of Final Girl. Like, I don't think you have Halloween 18. I don't think you have that incarnation of Laurie Strode without Erin from You're Next. She was the original, she knew how to fight back. She used her resources. I'm amazed that Sharni Vincent's career has not taken off since this movie. Like, it baffles me that she is not in everything now. I don't know what else to say besides the fact that like Erin is this character that you empathize with the entire way through. She there's never a moment where you're rooting for it. There's never a moment where she makes a dumb decision where you're like, come on. Like, she knows exactly what she's doing, where she needs to be, and who she needs to take care of, and even when things get thrown, like even when curveballs get thrown at her, she takes it in stride.
She knows what to do in this situation.
And she, uses whatever she has at her disposal. Hence, one of the best kitchen kills of all time. I love it. God, you're almost talking me into stabbing my own, honestly.
This is a much better number 5 in my eyes. I love Your Next. I think it's my favorite Wingard. I mean, I think Blake
Oh, it's
would
his
say
best.
The Guest is yours, but
I love the.
It's
I love the
Blair
guest.
Witch, actually. But,
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I was like, wait, what?
it's the guest. Yeah, I love the guest.
I do love the guest too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Coming on
1-2
Netflix.
punch
Yeah.
was amazing.
Yeah, I love Your Next, and Aaron is the reason for it. Again, we talked about earlier with American Werewolf in London not being a horror comedy. Mm-hmm. I don't see Your Next as a horror comedy. There's funny stuff in it.
There's
for
funny
sure.
stuff in it, but
not-
it's
I think it's a mutation. I think the opening 30 minutes is funny. Like, not funny, but like...
it's a mumblecore movie that gets
Yeah.
interrupted by a home invasion slasher.
Yeah.
but
That's
I don't
what it
find
is.
it funny.
Oh,
I think it's good It's good banter between fun characters.
think
The you never want to do anything fun.
yeah. I don't think it's
I mean-
LOL funny, but like I think it's just like a good time.
Yeah.
And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's like, whoa.
For
Like,
what-
all of a sudden this guy's an arrow in his chest.
I think the
In
horror
his eye socket.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
the horror comedy stuff I think is more of a critic thing.
Yeah.
To disguise that, no, this is just character development in our first 30 minutes of
Yeah.
our movie.
Oh,
where it's real
100%.
people in this situation. Like,
And also, I mean, rest in peace, Nicholas Tucci,
Yeah.
who played Felix in this. He
yeah,
passed away tragically last
this
year.
is like the mumblecore cast.
Oh, it
right
is.
here
It's
of Your
100%.
Next.
Like, you've got Joe Swanberg in it, and, I'm surprised Mark Duplass doesn't have, like, a
What-
cameo in it.
It's got one of my favorites, Amy Steinmetz, isn't it?
Oh,
I
yes.
love Amy Steinmetz.
Yep.
yeah,
Best part of the
Ty,
Pet Cemetery.
Ty West is in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yep, Ty West.
This is the reason we have Barbara Crampton doing everything now is because
Yeah.
of Your Next.
This was a resurgence for her. Yeah.
Aaron is, like Blake has said, and we've said it multiple times, I think she is the ultimate final girl. She knows what to do in every single situation. You're always rooting for her. Even when that twist comes in where she finally figures out what's going on, she's not hesitating of what the next step for her to survive is in that situation.
Erin is like the ultimate Scream fan, and she's memorized sort of like what to do in case this ever happens.
She's Randy's younger sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had it at number 2, but I'm perfectly fine here
I
at
expect
number 5.
this to be on the list, and I am excited.
All right. Well, you know what? I'll take me playing a character a little low over, like, you guys playing a character. I'm like, I don't even know who that is. So
We're nearing the top 4. I think we're.
I think we know
Top
who.
four.
Yeah, I can pretty much take some of these.
Which means it is Casey's turn. again.
Yes. So, I am maybe gonna spark some controversy with this one since we. Yeah. Anyway,
Is
I'll
this,
let-
who,
this
is
the
this
one-
who I think it is?
this is who
this-
you think it is.
Is this the one we talked about earlier?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm very curious to hear Casey defend this. Next choice.
It's a controversial choice.
At
That is
number
for sure.
4, Casey is revisiting a series we've already talked about tonight. He's playing Jamie Lloyd from Halloween 4.
Halloween 4 and 5 is what we'll count it as because that's the Danielle Harris version, which for this argument I won't include Curse of Michael Myers Part 6, even though I like the movie, but it's not Danielle Harris's Jamie Lloyd. This might spark some controversy, especially since I played Laurie Strode before. So this is my favorite final girl of this series. The reason why I want her on the list, and
She's an actual girl.
she's an actual girl. She's a child in this movie, and the reason I will put her on as a final girl, as a survivor girl, is she's never physically going after Michael Myers like Aaron was in Your Next to all the home invaders. But in this case, she is fighting for survival, and Halloween 4 has one of my favorite endings ever of how you should transition a final girl that they completely ignore in the fifth one. Much like what I talked about earlier with Mia in Evil Dead, is she starts off as the main antagonist, ends up as our final girl or as our survival girl. Jamie Lloyd starts off as the sympathetic little girl who's terrified of Michael Myers, much like most kids in the 80s. But by the end of the movie, she is the new Michael Myers. And I think that is a very interesting transition from a final girl to now she's the killer. I can't think of any other slasher series that does it, because even Halloween 4 doesn't fulfill that promise of that being the ending. So yeah, that's why I have her on here, because again, it's such a different final girl. One, she's a child. Two, she becomes the killer by the end of the movie. So, yeah, that is my pick. Jamie Lloyd, Halloween 4 and 5.
I'm not gonna stab this. I was honestly debating whether to put Jamie on here myself. I did not actually write her down on any of my cards because I thought, I don't know. But no, I think that, it's the character that introduced us to Danielle Harris.
Also one of the greatest scream queens of all time.
Right, exactly. And the performance that she gives in this, like, you feel every ounce of this child's terror. And like you said, the twist ending is amazing. It's probably the reason that Halloween 5 is my least favorite of the Halloween movies, is because, like, I literally cannot get over that they went back on that.
I still like Halloween 5 because of her performance in Halloween 5. Because she's really good for being a 10-year-old child playing a mute
100%.
character in the movie.
And she's the only part of Halloween 5 that I really like. I hate that they kill off Rachel right away.
Who possibly could have made this list.
Yep. She was also one that I was kind of kicking around. But yes, I like Jamie Lloyd as a character. I think that she deserves to be up here because I think she's almost... She might not be quite as iconic as Laurie Strode, but she should be.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Because the one I go back to, and when I think of Halloween movies, when I think of the ones that Laurie Strode is in, I think of Michael Myers. But when I think of Halloween 4 and 5, I think of Jamie Lloyd.
Yep, 100%.
And I think that's a big, big difference.
Yeah.
All right. At number 4, Halloween 4. Mr. Lenz.
Oh, God.
Also, I believe the second time that Halloween 4 is at number 4 on the list.
Was it?
I think it was number 4 on the Halloween list, too. Yeah.
Interesting.
How many cards do you have left that you would play?
I have 3 left that I would play.
Okay.
I
do 2, so we could be on the same page.
I have a number 1 that I very much want at number 1.
You do have the number 1.
Yes.
I do have the number 1.
I do not have a stab either.
This is my number 3.
So you have a definitive number 1.
I have a definitive number 1,
I
yes.
do 2.
And it is...
Okay.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
There's
what?
nothing wrong. I was looking at Pedro like, I've never heard of this movie. Oh, yes. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't want to write the whole thing
No,
out.
you're fine.
Okay.
At number 3, Sam has played Nancy from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Part 1.
And 3. We can
New Nightmare.
Yeah. And New Nightmare, yes. Although she's kind of just playing her... Heather Langenkamp is playing herself, but she's also playing herself playing Nancy. Yeah. So,
Number 3.
Too bad, Casey.
was that your number 1?
Nancy is my number 1.
Nancy,
I know what
wondered-
yours is. I know what yours is now.
It's yeah, okay. So I love Nancy as a character. If I had the number 2 spot, that's where she would be. I don't. So I wanted to make sure I should have known she was gonna make it onto this list. You know what? I'm gonna stab this. I'm putting something different at number 3. I'm stabbing my own.
So you watched me write this entire
Oh,
thing out.
I didn't even know. Oh my gosh.
Nope, it's okay.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm stabbing my own.
Is this a first stabbing them? I think I stabbed myself.
Yeah.
once.
I'll take my card
I'm
back.
stabbing myself. I'm playing this. This is another
I'm gonna
contra-
keep it up here because I know it's getting played again.
Yes. Okay.
This is another controversial pick, but I think Casey's going to be 100% on board with
This
it.
is the one I was going to play at number 2.
You know what he was going to play already?
Yeah, I know what he's going to play. And the exact reaction I thought Blake was going to give.
At number 3,
Yes.
we are playing a non-horror movie on a horror show.
It is a horror movie.
Sarah Connor from Terminator.
I guess technically at the beginning of the show we never said these had to be horror movies either.
Yeah.
She is a final girl.
Here's the thing. Terminator 2, which we just watched, is not a horror movie. It is very much an action movie with a few little horror elements sprinkled in. The Terminator is a horror
Is a
movie.
horror
Strong disagree.
It's structured exactly the same. The tone is that of a horror movie. It's basically a slasher. The killer is unstoppable. The final act is as infuriating and ridiculous as the Child's Play final act, where the killer just will not die. And that is why, like, the first time I watched Terminator was about 2 years ago. And the first thing that I thought when the credits rolled was, I just watched a horror movie. I was expecting an action movie. I just watched a horror movie. And Sarah Connor was
Sarah Connor.
a phenomenal character. And she continued to be a phenomenal in 2, and I haven't seen any of the other Terminators since. I don't really care to.
She's only in
She's
Dark
great
Fate.
in Dark Fate.
Is she?
Yes.
Dark Fate might be the one that I make the exception for. But I really enjoy Sarah Connor in this movie. I think that, and I know this is controversial because a lot of people do not consider Terminator a horror movie, but to me, like, it's almost a creature feature slasher. Arnold is he is not.
It's a sci-fi slasher movie.
Yeah, it is. He's a killing machine. That's what he is.
Yeah, he's a machine.
And yeah, a killing machine. You can't even argue with the killing machine part. I love Sarah. I think she's a great character. This is my number 3 pick that I literally stabbed myself to put on. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect spot for it. This is what I was going to play at number 2 if we were going to get to it.
Sweet.
Yeah, we talked about this after Terminator 2.
Casey and I have had
We've had many discussions. Yeah, we were talking about the when we were doing the show, and I said, oh, maybe we're going to be talking about the movie we just all watched, which was Terminator 2. And me and Sam were both like, well, yeah, the first Terminator is a horror movie, so it technically would count on this list.
Yep.
But I would then combine Terminator 2 because it is the same character. Mm-hmm. And what really works in that, and no other final girl has been able to replicate, is the believability of her being this waitress who is a damsel in distress pretty much for the first Terminator movie, mm-hmm. and doesn't know what to do with herself. But then by Terminator 2, she's found her purpose in life and is basically a Terminator in that movie.
Yep.
She, with the redemptive quality of her finding her humanity once again by the end of the movie. But yeah, I would combine the two, and the reason I bring it up on a horror list is even looking at like Laurie Strode, who was basically Sarah Connor from the first movie and the first Halloween. I never believed Jamie Lee Curtis could ever be Sarah Connor from Terminator 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I feel Halloween 2018 was trying to do, and it was trying too hard.
Right on down to the green tank top. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
And that's where I have not watched all of Dark Fate. I watched the first scene, and it turned me off. But I'll maybe watch it down the road. But that's one of the criticisms I've heard of that, is she's also not as believable as she was in T2.
She's not, but it's still a solid performance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there is a sequence in Dark Fate that, as an action sequence, rivals anything that T2, not rivals, but it's maybe a step below T2 level.
It could have fit in the movie.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So while
You're getting me interested in actually watching this.
Give a soaring recommendation for Dark Fate, there's some really interesting stuff in the movie. The villain's weak. Arnold's fun to see again, but it's the Sarah Connor show. And there's a tremendous.
It's the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I remember watching that show.
Yeah. The airplane sequence is incredible. So, cool.
But yeah, I think Terminator is the one that makes it available on this list, but T2 cements it as Sarah Connor has to be number 3 on our list.
Sure. Okay. So, at number 3, Sarah Connor from the Terminator series. It's an inspired choice. Casey, you are up with number 2. And just for the record,
Casey, so what are you going to play?
Everything that plays...
So that is played. So yes.
Everything from now on stays.
Yep.
So what is your...
My number 2 is
Nightmare on Elm Street.
is Nancy Thompson from A Nightmare on Elm Street 1, 3, and New Nightmare. Nancy is my favorite final girl because pretty much unlike any other final girl that we've discussed of the classic versions of Laurie Strode or even Jamie and Sarah from the first movie, Nancy right away from the first movie is a go-getter. She's not taking any of Freddy's shit in this movie. She is booby-trapping her house. No one else believes her that Freddy is there and real and haunting her and her friends in her dreams. Again, much like what we talked about with Laurie, she has no idea what's going on with her friends. Nancy knows from right away from her first friend dying that Freddy Krueger is a real person, a real threat,
Yep.
and knows she has to stop him, even though her dad, who's the great John Saxton, is a member of the police department and does nothing about it. And so she takes all the action into her own hands. But then you get to Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and she's the mentor to all the new kids, the Dream Warriors. And I think she works great as that too. Like, she is teaching all of them everything she knows already.
And I should reiterate, I said something about the Final Girls being one of the only slashers to ever make me cry. Actually, her death in Elm Street 3 is... I'm sorry, was I not supposed to spoil that?
No,
Okay.
you're fine on Elm Street 3.
Okay. But yeah, I think her death is a very hard pill to swallow in that, yeah, like you said, we see her grow into this like mentor for these kids, and then to give her life for it, it's, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think New Nightmare cements it as that's the best trilogy out of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Oh,
is
100%.
You do 1, 3, and New Nightmare. And I would say that definitely falls into this because by the end of that movie, as you said, she is Nancy once again, and that's kind of the whole point of the movie. She is through and through a final girl in that movie too. She's protecting her son the entire movie.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of the same thing as the first movie where no one believes that Freddy's real except for her in this situation where she's playing Heather Langenkamp herself. So yeah, Nancy is my favorite final girl because all 3 times she shows up in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, she gets even better as a character. They build on her each time, and it's never wavering like Laurie Strode was, or Sarah Connor, who in the first one isn't the same Sarah Connor as the second one, which I would definitely argue T2 is the better Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my favorite, Nancy Thompson.
Excellent. There's only one reason that she's not my number one, and I will play it right now.
I hope we're thinking of the same thing.
I think we are. I hope so too, honestly. I don't want you to like...
I hope this is the successor to Nancy in...
Yep, 100%.
Okay.
Okay.
Or wait. Are you... Nope, I don't think we're thinking the same person.
Oof.
Oh no.
We'll see.
At number 8,
Blake's gonna build it up.
we have Mia from the Evil Dead remake. At number 7, we have Max from Final Girls. At number 6, we have Laurie Strode from Halloween. Number 5, Aaron from You're Next. Number 4, Jamie Lloyd from Halloween 4. Number 3 is Sarah Connor from the Terminator series.
Sarah Connor.
Number 2, we have Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street. And at number 1, we have Miss Sidney Prescott from Scream.
Oh, thank God.
Sydney.
Okay, I thought you were talking about Alexis from the Nightmare movies when you said successor.
Oh, we'll talk about discards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, like, I mean, Casey and I, we were both '90s kids, and there was no other horror movie in the '90s that was more prevalent than
This
Scream.
is my number 1 too.
I 100% think that Sidney Prescott is not only the best final girl in horror, but quite possibly the best character in horror. I think that she is more. I think she's just as iconic as Ghostface. Like, you think Ghostface, you think Neve Campbell's Sidney Prescott. To me, if they don't bring her back for Scream 5,
They will.
There's no movie, right? I mean, there is no Scream without Sidney. There's no Scream without Neve Campbell. The way that they have written her character to grow and develop, even in Scream 3. I like Scream 3. I don't care who knows it.
Please tell Casey that.
I think...
I've only watched it the one time, and I was not a fan.
See, I enjoy it.
I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely the weakest.
I didn't hate.
of the four,
I definitely
but-
did not hate it.
Yeah. I think the way that they continuously throw trauma onto her, but then allow her to grow through that trauma in every single successing film is just incredible. We've never seen another final girl grow and change the way that she has, and to me, there's no other final girl that quite embodies the moving on from trauma as Sidney Prescott. Honestly,
Yeah, Sydney was top 3 for me. She was definitely in the running. Yeah, and I was expecting this to be very high on the list and possibly at number 1. So I'm very glad that it's here. Again, when you think of a franchise, you want to associate like Laurie Strode with the Halloween, but she's not in all of them. Mm-hmm. But you look at, or even for me, like Nightmare on Elm Street, you think of Nancy as the final. But when you think of Scream, you actually get your final girl all 4 movies, and she is maybe the. I know we said it maybe with Aaron from Your Next, but I would say Sydney is probably the definitive final girl because. That's the reason it's kind of like when you watch a Michael Myers movie or a Jason movie, you're like, how are they going to come back? Mm-hmm. And this is more of, how is Sydney going to survive?
Yeah.
And it's
100%.
a very different look at the final girl. And again, she is a strong character throughout all 4 movies, a very different character in some, and the trauma that she's thrown out at definitely makes her grow as a character. And I think 4 has a very interesting look at Sydney because she's not in the movie a whole lot as far as growing as a character until, I would say, the final act, I guess, because it's more about the new kids, but then you still get don't fuck with the original, the original final girl for that series. So, yeah, I'm all for Sydney being at number 1.
Awesome. Like I said, Scream is like, I don't know. Scream is just kind of my franchise. I dig it. I love it. I even like the first 2 seasons of the TV show, even though it didn't have Sydney in them.
Never.
I saw the first season. It was fine.
It was fine. Yeah, like they're not. I'm not gonna rewatch them or anything like that, but a one-time watch was okay.
Yeah, I
Don't
like
watch
this.
the
I
first
like
season.
this list.
Good list.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Should we talk about some
Yes.
cards?
Casey, why don't you go first?
I'll go to the one that Sam alluded to. Alice from A Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5 was a possibility for number 8, but I figured we were going to get bogged down with everything else that was to follow. Another one I had was Ginny from Friday the 13th Part 2.
Can I just say I probably would have stabbed that.
This one?
Yeah, I like the Friday. I actually just recently rewatched Part 2, and I think it's my favorite out of the Friday movies. But I don't think there's ever any character in those movies.
No.
Ginny's the closest thing, but I don't know. I don't think a final girl from Friday the 13th belongs on a top final girl list. Honestly,
If I was going to play one, it would have been her. But I wasn't planning on playing it. And then I think the big omission, I guess, is
Ripley from Alien.
Yeah.
Can I confess something?
Yes.
I just watched Alien last night for the first time. I'd never seen him.
And you didn't talk about it on your recent watches today?
I think he was
Well-
maybe expecting to.
Yeah, I didn't know. The reason I watched it was because I was doing research. I saw Ripley. I know Ripley. I had seen bits and pieces of Alien growing up, but I'd never just sat down and watched it. And I thought, well, there's a good chance we'll be talking about it. So I watched it last night. It's an incredible movie. It's a very incredible movie. I'm honestly surprised she's not on this list, but I also didn't want to be the one to put her here because I had just watched the movie. So
Makes sense.
Yeah. Alien is not. It's not my franchise. I like both Alien 1 and 2, but I've only seen both one time.
yeah, and I liked Alien. The sets were incredible. I think Sigourney Weaver's incredible in it. But yeah, I the credits rolled and I was like, that was good. You know, it's an achievement in filmmaking. I would not, but it's just, I don't know. I'm gonna gravitate towards probably a cheesy 80s slasher before I go back to it.
Well, Sam did promise hot takes when he entered our group, so I expect nothing less out of him. Sam, what were some of your ones that didn't make the list that you really wanted to talk about?
So we already talked kind of about Jesse from A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. I thought about playing Sally from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, and but I don't know. It's more, when I thought about it, I'm like, no, it's more because she has iconic moments than she's an iconic character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's not really a character as much as, like, I'm thinking the truck scene at the very end. You know what I mean?
Or the dinner
Yeah,
sequence.
or the dinner sequence, yeah.
It's the sequences you think of, not her, the character.
Yeah, exactly.
She can scream, though.
She can scream.
The only other two I had were modern ones. I had Dana from the Cabin in the Woods.
Okay.
Because, I mean, what other final girl just smokes weed with the stoner and lets chaos happen?
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, it's just amazing. That's one of my favorite endings to any horror movie ever. And then I had Tree from Happy Death Day. I know you guys aren't
That's the one I thought of,
those.
like, as soon as you played Max. I'm like, oh, wait, is he going to play Tree from Happy Death Day on this?
See, and I think that... I like both of the Happy Death Day movies quite a bit. I know people had their issues with 2. But I also think that a large part of why they're so good is Jessica Roth's performance as Tree.
I will argue the only reason they're good is because of her.
And
I really like I like the first one a lot. The second one, not so much. But the reason I can still enjoy it and argue for her being on the list is because of...
Yeah. And so, I considered her, but I was also like, I really wanted Max from Final Girls on this list. That was my reasoning.
Yeah. I think we have a very, very good list, very controversial list, too.
Yeah.
Any you were expecting that didn't make it, Blake?
I can't think of the top of my head. One of them, we sort of talked about her at the beginning. Barbara Crampton, Reanimator came up in my head, but I was kind of like, not entirely like a final.
No.
Yeah.
Girl,
Yeah.
So
because that's the one that I kind of thought of too. Because I kind of wanted Barbara Crampton on this list.
Yeah.
But I think that I was thinking more Scream Queen than
terribly iconic, but the girl from Intruder, I thought would have been an inspired choice.
I haven't seen that
really
one.
fun movie with a lot of Final Girl-esque.
Is that the
stuff.
Sam Raimi one?
He produced
Yeah,
it.
Robert Tappert?
No.
Yeah? No? Yeah, I think so. Pretty sure. Anyway, but I don't think she's iconic, neither the character.
No, but...
The movie's really good.
What?
Fun. I said the movie's really good.
Okay. I said it's not good. I was like,
No, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we can talk all day about the Terminator series, and I get it. I get it. I'm not here to argue the conventions of those movies and whatnot, but it's an inspired choice.
She is still a final girl, I mean, even if they're not horror movies.
She totally is.
Yeah.
I completely agree. You guys convinced me of that. I'm surprised Ripley didn't make it, but I don't know. I mean, like, I also look at it like, have sequels ruined the idea of what some of these characters are? And in my eyes, while I love Alien and Aliens, and to an extent, I love Alien 3 and Resurrection, the journey of her character is really interesting, but like the fact that those second 2 movies don't deliver on how great the first 2 are for me sort of diminishes what
has the
Ripley
Laurie
is.
Strode factor to it.
A little bit,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I'm not terribly remiss that Ripley didn't make the list, but maybe at like 8 or 7, it would have been a perfect play for her, but I didn't play, so.
Nope. I wasn't planning on playing it. I wrote it down in case Sam
in case Sam played a hot take or something. Very cool.
I don't think I had many. I mean, I'd say like my hottest one was maybe the Max from Final Girls being on this list.
Yeah.
Just because it's so new,
well,
you know?
I think it's played at the right place, though.
Yeah, and that's why. Like, maybe in 20 years, she'd be higher on this list.
Yeah.
You know, because I really think that movie's going to have staying power.
Boy, that movie with Last Action Hero would be, like, a great double feature.
Oh, yeah, it would. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
You guys okay with this list?
I
Pretty
am.
good?
I'm 100%
Great with this
okay with this
list.
list.
Yeah.
I love it. I had a bunch of stress dreams for nothing. That was
Sam,
fun.
how do you feel now?
I feel relieved.
You feel liberated?
Yeah, I do. I feel like there's been a a weight lifted off my shoulder. I feel like I've proven myself to you guys.
You feel like you've survived. You feel like you survived a horror
Sam
movie.
is
Yeah, I
our,
do.
Is our final girl.
Sam is the Killer Countdown's final girl.
He is our Sidney Prescott. All right. Should we wrap it up then?
Let's wrap this up. Do we have anything to plug? So our Backlot main show, we should have a live show to plug. We are doing a live show August 30th. We are going to somehow rank the top 20 Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone movies. Not like 20 each, but like a combined top 20. I feel like one actor has the majority of the people behind him. I think 3 of the people in our group who are participating in this are fully behind one of the actors.
Okay.
And might outweigh the other one. We'll see.
I wonder which one it is.
I don't know. I know.
And what 3 those people are.
Right. So yeah, we have a live show August 30th. We're gonna do it's like an online thing. It's gonna be streaming live on the Backlot 605 Facebook page, and we're gonna try and get it onto the South Dakota Film Community Group page as well simultaneously. We are recording from I forget the name.
Spellbound Magic
Spellbound.
Shop here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So all of us participating will be there live, and we're also going to be live streaming it in real time onto our Facebook page.
And I think it'll be released as a podcast as well, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So if you can't catch
So later on. Yep.
If you don't catch the live stream, we'll definitely put it out on our feed. So please be on the lookout for that. We're super excited. I think a few of us have threatened to blow up the list in case things don't go our way. So
It's an Arnie and Sly show. Something has to blow
something
up.
is going to blow up. We don't even know if friendships will make it through this.
I'm very excited to be a part of this.
How much baby oil will be used in this show? We're still trying to figure that part out.
That reminds me that I need to practice putting on baby oil when I get home to get ready for this. And I'm gonna buy a bandana and some tank tops, and I gotta prepare for this.
And some cargo pants.
Because I am a part of this live show.
August 30th, 7 p.m. Facebook.
7 p.m.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's push my bedtime.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Backlot 605, we're also doing an America series throughout July. We just had our first one. It was The Patriot with Dave Holly. Excellent episode. Dave is such a articulate person and expresses ideas very well. And you guys had a great, loving talk about one of Roland Emmerich's better movies.
His best.
One
movie.
of his. One of his
I've
better
actually never
movies
seen it.
with The Patriot. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the next one, which is Red Dawn. That will be out by the time this episode airs.
Yeah.
And then following that is Born on the 4th of July, and then Team America. So keep an eye out for those.
Ooh, so you're planning on giving everybody tonal whiplash.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to listen to all those because I have not seen any of those in years. So I might have to get back and watch some of those. Otherwise, follow Backlot 605 on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
That's where we're at.
All the
Yeah.
social media channels. Casey, do you have anything that you would like to plug?
That is, I think you hit all the big ones. You can find this podcast and all the Backlot 605 podcasts on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google, and on YouTube. That's the big thing. The Arnie and Sly show coming up. That's what most of my recent watches have been.
Mine
That's
too.
That's why the horror ones are kind of pushed to the side. And
We did one today, actually.
What's that?
We did one today.
We did one
actually.
today. I knocked. Yeah,
And
we
I
got that
fully
knocked out.
expect that that's at least in the top 3.
We'll talk.
I fully expect it.
I don't know. I don't trust people. I'll just say that.
I won't say either way.
I don't know.
on
Yeah,
that
we'll
movie.
see. Sam, do you have anything that you want to plug that you are doing personally?
I mean, I'm still doing like some art and stuff. I'm posting on Instagram. If you follow me there, some of my art I've been putting on my TeePublic store. So if you want like a T-shirt with a monstrous ice cream cone licking a kid instead of the other way around, that sounds worse than it is. It's really funny.
He has a dope drawing of Pennywise.
I saw it.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
yeah.
rules.
Sam, I look at all your drawings. They're
thank
pretty
you.
cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. I like to post my art. So
To piggyback off Sam's clothing line, you could also buy Backlash 605 clothing. Casey, where can people buy that stuff?
Yeah, that's on our TeePublic store as well, and we have a couple designs. There's a Killer Countdown design on there, so
Alright.
I mean, by October it won't be on there. So if you want a Killer Countdown merch, T-shirts or a pillow or a mug
get
or
on
a
that
sticker,
right
that's
away.
Yeah, those will be collector's items. In
they will
3
be
or 4
collector's
months,
items. So yeah, those will only stay up till the show is done. So that'll be up there till October. But yeah, tpublic.com, I believe /backlash605 pod.
Awesome. We'll be back in a month. What topic we don't quite know yet. We're a little in flux with some things, but we will figure that out.
We only have 3 to go, so
I know.
we're gonna have to narrow it down to
I
the
know.
big ones.
I know.
So yeah.
We'll figure it out. But until next time, spook you later.